But just periodically today because she has some sessions she's working around, and then Lori too. So she'll be here too a little later. So we can get started. And let's see, I don't know, did I get an email from Sylvia? Maybe I better check first. So let's get started. Does anybody have any questions or comments or things that they worked through last night, or things that maybe they have like a little, I'm not sure how this fits yet, or maybe they've made some type of realization. Anything go on, or maybe you just went to sleep or went out and had dinner.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to do them. I tried to start this morning, but it was, by the time I got the email, it was getting towards my bedtime, right? So I'm on the East Coast, but so I wanted to know, can we, like, will it matter for today? Because I didn't get to
No, and it wasn't that I was pushing everyone to do it all last night. That wasn't the case. I just said, do it at your own pace. And well, last night we had our son graduated from high school, and they had the virtual celebration on television. So we had some people over
fun
last night, and I couldn't get to sleep. It was like 1 in the morning. I'm going, I don't know what's going on, but I can't get to sleep. So that's why I sent the email a little bit late, because I had the company and everything like that. But yeah, it was great. Real nice. So I didn't really do anything either.
Well, and on that point, yeah, I didn't mean to sound like it was too late, like you did.
No.
Too late, but yeah.
But on the East Coast, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I got that.
I did get more sleep last night than I've had in a while, but so that was very nice. Thank you, everybody. But I didn't look at each of the links, and maybe other people have some insight. But do we have to are we re-listening to the whole thing and finding the clearing, or is there any way to see where the clearing part is in the? You know what I mean?
I thought that's what I sent, the homework. Didn't they have times on it? Yeah.
Oh, maybe it did. I looked at the first one. I didn't see a time, but
some of them did not, did they? Okay. I do have the times. I will.
Okay.
The ones that I have, I don't know why. Your homework does not have the times on it, but I will recopy.
Okay.
What I had on mine and put the times on there. So yeah.
I mean, I look forward to re-listening, but just for experience when you want to practice.
Good point. Yeah. I have today's all with the timestamps on them, so you'll get those tonight with the timestamps.
Well, maybe they're there. I didn't look at them all, so we'll see. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
The links to the replays was not working.
Yeah, I sent you the YouTube videos for the recordings. I'm going to get those to you, and like I said, I had the graduation last night, so to get those 3-hour chunks of the recordings uploaded, then I have to download them, and then I have to re-upload them somewhere else. It was like I just simply ran out of time.
Yeah,
and
it's no hurry, so
that's okay. And then I have a full-time guy, and so after this company went home and all that, I had to do his email. So it was, by then I'm just like, well, I'm about done. I gotta go to bed. Yeah. So yeah, you'll get the recordings, but this is the YouTube videos. The timestamps that I have are according to the YouTube videos, not our actual recording too. So
I just wanted to say thank you, because my energy field was totally changed after yesterday, and I'm deeply appreciative. I could really feel it. Thank you.
Oh, yes. Yeah, right. So just the things that we actually did on the during the time training yesterday, that was a lot, really, and I did feel that too afterwards. So I continued to do clearings after that, even though I had to rush around, get our kid a haircut, and get some food and all that, snacks. I'm doing clearings, thinking this is an opportune time to do things right now. I'm all zipped up like this because, doing 7 hours or whatever straight is a great opportunity to keep going and doing more clearing. So I did, which was good because I had to clear my house from, I'll just let you know, one of the people that came over had attachments, and usually I clear them before they get here. And with everything going on, I guess I didn't even think about it. And I actually got attacked by, what was it? Transmortals. Yeah. Last night, I'm like, oh, I didn't clear her first. And so then I had to clear myself, going, oh, okay. And then I cleared the house. That's why I couldn't get to bed right away. I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Yeah, so it happens. And I know this about that individual. Now, she's very low vibration. Okay, so 140 maybe at best, right? But a family member, and wanted to see him graduate, and you have to all watch him on TV, right? So what are you going to do? So we did, but that's just so you know, these things happen. And she resonates on that same level with these lower beings, and doesn't realize it, and she barely feels it. I don't think she really understands what it is. Maybe she thinks she just has anxiety or something. I don't know, but it was like, oh my gosh, it felt like, ah. And I'm just not used to that. But
you didn't try to raise her vibrations a little bit?
Oh, I have, yes. I have, but it's not, I mean, I probably got it up from to 140. I mean, it's like, yeah, but good point. I need to work on her a lot more. I do.
Yeah. Well, that brings up a question. I know people have different points of view on this. What if someone's not asking for the help? Can you do that, like, for yourself, for the benefit of the community? Like,
yes, and I get that. Yes, when it comes to clearing this stuff, because this stuff did not ask to come into our fields, and so that's where guides, your higher self, Jesus, whoever your master's guide, they will not attach to your field. That's not right.
Yeah. So
when that happens, they've gone against our free will, and so I figure they didn't ask, so I'm not asking either. Now, you're gonna probably want to talk to their higher self and tell them that this is what you're doing, and that you are clearing this of attachments that are uninvited. So you can assist in this, please. And we'll get into that later this afternoon when we go into the clearing for it. So I guess it's an appropriate time to to have that discussion. So
I'm thinking, about my husband, and he's definitely not in his right mind, with all these things. So I don't want to, because I also have an investment in the situation getting resolved in a more positive, like more friendly situation, but I don't want to go against, I don't want to force anything. So like, but it seems if he were here, I would be clearing him and doing that, right? And he actually would be okay with that. But
yes. For you, yes, a spouse, you can clear them. No, yeah, sure. Yeah. I've got carte blanche to, clear anything you want. My husband like, clear it, anything, whatever comes up. It's like he doesn't even know.
Yeah, well, I mean, in this current situation, just since he left and like is kind of acting like he wants to shut everything down, which I feel like it's entities talking, truthfully,
Yes, and you're right, because these things can uninvited thoughts. So those thoughts come in, and then they don't know exactly that those aren't their own thoughts.
Yeah.
Essentially, they may be thinking that, and then speak out or act accordingly to what those are. So it's, and it depends on what kind of attachment it is, to what they do. So the one that she had, these transmortals, they can act like unruly. They just hurt, harmful, just playing pranks, kind of stuff like that, right? So this one was like, oh, let's get the healer. So yeah, so I normally don't run into that situation, but yeah, she's the one that it's, if it ever happens, it's always her. So I should have had that on my to-do list before they came. And
that's a lot of added preparation for entertaining.
it is, yeah.
Clear all your guests.
Yeah, so then I was up last night going, okay, clear the house. You're out of here. Good thing my husband was still awake too. Because
Well, it looks like you're back to normal.
oh, thank you. Yeah, I am. Yeah, no, it took till like 1 a.m. before everything was calmed back down. But I feel good. I mean, I sleep well when I sleep. So.
I have friends who are like, oh, I don't believe in that. Like, it's just the fear, vibration. Don't talk about like, negative energies or attachments or things. And it's like, yeah, if you haven't experienced it, maybe you don't understand that. But, yeah.
That's a good point, because I want to tell you how that worked, Tracy, is that fear keeps them there.
Yeah.
Yes, because, and that's what I was working in. It's like, oh, these are from Cindy. This is from, oh, like, wow. So I'm getting, like, okay, so what is it? And then I found out what it is, and then I'm clearing it. And then I'm like, okay, so a few minutes prior, when I didn't know what it was or who it was from, or didn't do any thinking about it, and I'm feeling all this, and I'm thinking, what's the matter? This is not normal for me to have these, but they don't respect my boundaries. And that's the type that doesn't. That one particular one does not. I mean, just totally is unruly, just whatever. And so when I had that, it was like I felt fear for a couple of minutes, like I'm trying to figure out why, am I I need to go outside and get grounded. That's what I was thinking. It's like 1 a.m. and I'm going, oh no. But fear, as soon as I tapped into that word, it was like gone, because it was like I now saw the fear, stepped into, I don't care that you're not fearing me, I'm not fearing you, and boom, it was gone. Just like that, when I realized and just got out of the fear, I'm like, wow, that was a good realization right there, because I don't know if I've just been really that attuned to that vibration is the one that tipped it, so yeah, don't be in fear. Fear is just, it's not false evidence appearing real. It's not enough information, lack of information. It's all it is. Because once I knew, pinpointed it, boom, it was gone.
Yeah.
Right?
Turning on the light in the darkness goes.
Yeah, exactly. No fear. Mm-mm.
Well, other healer friends of mine, my point is that they oftentimes don't even want to consider this dimension of interruption or interference, because they don't want to think that they're, oh, you're just working off of fear. Like you're calling in fear by sort of anticipating that you should look for that. My point is, like, I feel like by ignoring this dimension, like people are, what I'm saying? They're like denying that it's real, that these things really happen. And they think, even though they're also healers, they think I'm a little bit in the weird pile. Because I've had so many experiences that I can't explain any other way, but yeah. So I'm just saying, like, some people, even in the healing world, think that, oh, if you talk about entities and stuff, you're just creating an atmosphere of fear by talking about them as if they're not really there and you're fearing them. So it's like, yeah, that's not really what it is. It's just like,
actually the opposite.
Open your eyes, right? You have to see it.
Yes, because they're avoiding. That's an avoidance, and so that's a fear almost too. Like I'm too afraid to to look at the subject.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, why don't you, as a healer, you're going to come across people who have some issues. And if you're talking about an issue, I like to be just open. I will listen to anybody's problems, and I'm not going to judge them, and I'm not going to have an agenda over it. And that's the thing, is there could be more things that we don't even know about, more things than what's on my chart. I know there are, and we just need to identify them and get them, you know, labeled and so forth. But yeah, if someone tells me they've got something that's not on my chart, I'm not going to say, oh no, I've never heard of this before, this can't be real. So I will like just test it, muscle test it. Why don't they muscle test and just say, oh, I guess maybe it is real. I didn't want to go there because of the fear, and it's because of this fear that they're still locked in place. Right, I won't look at it, but when you look at it, it's like, whew, right, out the door, boom, gone, you know, off the property.
So, and they may not be doing this type of, you know, energetic work, different types of, you know, from nutrition, you know, from herbal, natural medicine people to body workers to, I'm just talking about different people I know who, you know, they may be very intuitive, but they're not, they sort of have a block to this, you know. So it seems unfortunate, because I feel like a lot of challenges are coming from this dimension, you know. And
yes, and they take our energy, you know, they suck the life force out of people, you know, 20%, 30%, 40% of our energy goes to this stuff, and people then think, oh, I'm just getting old or something, you know, I'm tired a lot, you know, and they just kind of chalk it up to had a long week or whatever. And but it's the agenda of this stuff. That's what they do, is they're a parasite. They go to the host, suck the energy, right? That's, you know, and we're the host, and that's their thing. You know, some of them are wanting to take over, you know, the planet, or you know, whatever their dark agendas are. But nothing has. I mean, this is the only thing that they can do, is get attached to the field and take the energy. But nobody has taken over humans, all in all, and it's not going to happen either. I mean, they have their weaknesses. So it's just not going to happen. And they're so low vibration that they're not really going to be here for that long, I don't feel. Anyway, there's people checking out right now, left and right. I'm like Fred just died last Saturday. He couldn't have been 50, I don't think, you know. I mean, it's, you know, brain tumor. He was in February having a little balance issues. So from February to last Saturday, and he's gone, you know. Things that people are transitioning. And he was not open-minded, as far as he, you know, he knew what I did, but he did not know what I did, you know, do. And he's in a marketing, Arizona Marketing Association meeting every month. And that's how I've known him for a few years. And so he knows what I do, and he's helped me with my business, you know, saying different things, and very, very insightful, very nice man. And I liked him every time, but he still didn't have a clue what it is I do, you know. So was not open to reaching out to see what other things could be done for brain tumors, you know. Just went the traditional route. They started a treatment. He started having bleeding, and then she couldn't see him. They put him in the hospital. She couldn't be with him for days. And then so they said, well, they checked him out and brought him home, and then within 3 days he was gone. But that's the only way you could be with your family, apparently. So they weren't going to do any more treatment. But what I'm saying is that the frequencies, so his frequency, let's check. Well, I want to say it's more, but I'm only getting like 270. So he was not, so he's had to have had other, I guess they call it ascension symptoms, right? So people may be having headaches, having dizziness, things happening where they're trying to keep up with the energies right now going through and coming through the planet. There used to be a lot of solar flares coming in. I don't know if they're as much as they used to be. My husband follows different YouTube channels that talk about, you know, the earth, and to me it's like, oh, all those you know, long words with okay, it's windy, all right. You know, this long word. So it's happening though.
Why do you suppose that there are so many people leaving now? I noticed the same thing. There's so many people that are passing now. I mean, it's like not even from illness. They're just going.
Yeah. Now they're talking about the split earth. I don't know if anyone's heard of that. And I haven't done all my research on it, so I'm not going to tell you if this is true or not true, but it's true for some people. The split earth. So like some people are going on one plane and some people are going to another. And I guess maybe it's splitting because of vibrational. So that's a critical reason why we want our vibrations higher, because we want to be on the plane that has a higher vibe. Now some people, it's not like they're going to a bad place and one person is going to a good place. It's not that so much, is that we're going to where our vibrations match. And so the ones that are in the 270s, well, maybe they need more time to work things out. Maybe they need more, so where the earth is going, she'll carry people who have the same vibration as her and so forth. But the ones that don't, they need to be on, I heard, like kind of a similar planet. Things are going to be very similar, but they're going to all be then able to experience life and evolve. Well, frequency goes up 8 points a lifetime if you do nothing about it. So if you're 270, next time you're 278, and then 86 or whatever. Or 86.
So they have to heal somewhere. They're healing.
Yes, exactly.
Level.
Yes, they just didn't get it this lifetime, and they may or may not, because 270 is not high enough to catch up, I guess, with, unless you're doing something like this, or prayer is another one, miracles. I have a gal, the one that did the painting for me from Sweden, and she traveled to, I think it was Brazil, big waterfall. Something was supposed to have been a miracle place, right? So she went there and all of her organs upgraded, because I'm going, how come you're around like 90% on all of your glands? She's in her 60s, and people in their 60s, I find they're in their 20s and 30% functions in all of their glands. So I'm like, what have you been doing? And she said, no, she never went to anybody. She never did anything, but she did get an upgrade from this place in Brazil, waterfall miracle center. So that happens, right? So there's that. And then of course she believes she has, the ability to know that this is possible and all real and so forth. So for her, it just happened, right? And then, but power of prayer, there's a lot of people, for example, in my marketing association meeting, the Dan Kennedy, I don't know if anyone's familiar with him, but he's a master of direct marketing, not the network marketing, but direct marketing, from long time ago, like advertorials where you get the whole story and then the direct response, type marketing. Anyway, he's a genius, and he drank a lot, I guess, in his life. And so anyway, his liver and pancreas were very, on the critical list, whatever. And when I found out about this is months ago, this was last year, I found out about it, and I asked Chuck here in Arizona, the leader of this group, and I said, what do you think I should do? He goes, work on him, Marlene, because he's in the hospital, in a rehab, and he's in the 70, year 75 years of age category. They got him on some kind of, whatever. And I said, okay, great, we'll do it. And that plus the fact that he has a large following of people and a lot of people were praying for him. He is now back in his office working. He's out of rehab. They checked him out. I mean, he was like, I checked his numbers. They were pretty low for a liver and a pancreas. You're kidding, like these two, most people will just die, right? They would. Most people would at that critical point. But he is back to work, and I'm checking him now. His liver, 78%. And it was down to, 25, 30 or whatever. Pancreas, wow, 74%. So I did work on the liver and the pancreas, but prayer, people were praying for him right and left. So it works. It really does. So just, and I'm not saying, to get religious or anything, and you don't have to be religious to pray. It's not the same thing. Prayer is a beautiful thing, and it's a good intention for others, coming from the heart, right? So nothing can go wrong with that, so very, very, just things to just be aware of. And our planet is she's in a change right now. A lot of things are happening.
Well,
just kind of.
I do have a friend. I have a friend who has melanoma. And she, it was like she had a little bit 5 years ago, and all of a sudden now they took out from her eye to her ear. And she's got to keep being checked. Can I work on her?
Oh, sure, certainly, yes. And then you get a muscle test. Just ask, is this something that I would be able to create a desirable result for her if I did some work? And then just, okay, yes, I'm getting yes. So, then what is it? Then ask her body, what is it that we need to work on first? Would it be the energetic body? Probably yes, if she has attachment, or who knows what if she's been in the hospital. Chances are she probably has attachments. That's where they hang out. And
She's a really very nice soul. I mean, she just she stays out of people's way. She doesn't want to get, she's a wonderful person.
Yeah. And so sure. And that's the thing too, is I didn't ask Dan if I can work on his pancreas or liver. I didn't ask. I thought, well, and Chuck said, do it. What chance else does he got? Because he's in the, taking their care. So that's not going to be a cure,
But the souls want that. Most people want that.
They just
Even
don't
know. Their fear stops them. Their soul wants it most of the time.
Yeah.
And their fear stops it.
Right. And their belief systems stop it.
Yeah.
So they're not really realizing that they're taking group mind. Group mind tells you, and medical control energy will tell you this is the way to do it. And if you're not doing this, you are irresponsible.
Yeah.
So they're making it, hanging the guilt trip on you.
Harder for themselves.
If you don't, yeah.
I used to get frustrated about that, but now that I'm, I understand more, just all of this whole system, it helps a lot because I want to help people and they're listening to the doctors.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I talk to a lot of people who are done with listening to their doctors. So it's like they've gone the route and now they're like fed up with that. I'm not getting better. I haven't got, any improvement. This is, this treatment pills or whatever they were on, isn't working, or, like they're prescribed, a lot of women are prescribed hormones, replacement hormone treatment. And a lot of that is, it's easier for them to place blame on the person. Okay, let's just tell the woman it's her messed up hormones. So they'll buy it. They started buying it when they came up with a drug for something else that they didn't have a use for this drug, so it was kind of on a shelf for a long time. And then they turned it into hormone replacement therapy and started pushing it, you know, back in the 60s or 70s or whatever it was. And then that took off. So, oh, now we have a home for this drug. Here it is. And then they could start selling it, right? So it's a money-making thing for pharmaceutical companies. And that's really all it is. And they tell the OBGYNs or who's ever out there pushing the stuff. And they don't know. They want to help too. They want to help women. They don't know. So they are just, you know, whatever they read, whatever the materials they're given from wherever they get their information, and that's it. Then they're pushed on us, right? So, but really, these things suppress the immune system. Yes, they can mask symptoms, and generally do for a while, but they're actually suppressing the immune system. And these things can be viruses, right? They can be virus, not your hormones whacked out. All right, so that's the part that they're not getting, and what's underlying this, because
Have
there
you
is
heard of hormones for men? They give men hormones when they have cancer.
Ooh, that's not what you want.
So I know someone that got hormone shots after he had pancreatic cancer.
I've heard of testosterone shots, but it was more than that.
VA.
Mm.
The VA.
Okay, I'm not really getting that. That would be
that was bad. I don't think that was good either.
no. So just be very careful. Now, we can't prescribe or tell people what to take or not what to take. But I just tell people, if it was me, this is what I would do. However, it may be different for other people. I can't tell you, you know, so we have to be careful about that too.
Right.
But just to let them know, I talk about other clients, but you can talk about, you know, maybe stories for me about my other clients or whatever that that have had adverse things, you know, and no improvement, and just the information that I get, that is not beneficial or working.
So it's also interesting, so you know, everything.
Yeah, it certainly is. So just we're questioning really everything pretty much that we've been taught, and it's good. It's great to start questioning things, and this is the awareness piece that we were dealing with yesterday. So just that whole awareness is so key. You know, once we're aware, once we're woke up and becoming conscious, then there's nothing that we can't affect now, because we can look at it, muscle test it, see if there's something we can clear around that, raise a frequency of vibration, people start feeling better, things start shifting for them, maybe they can go off medications, you know, and then they can be referral sources. I'm serious. I get people that, you know, I help out, and now they refer their mother and their sister and their whoever, right? So, and this is how it works. And so I don't advertise for clients. I don't have to, you know, because I get a result, and then I get their friends with problems, right? So, and so this is how it would be, you know, for you too, to be in business with this. This is the way it works. It works, right? So, and once people find something that does, then they're more than happy to send all their other, and their other friends. Like, I'm starting with somebody, she was just referred to me last week, and I had a short conversation with her, and she's got depression. Her brain the brain stem is like at 7% function. And then up from there, not too much more, 12% or whatever, but it's, and then this is the amygdala where the emotions are processed. So that's depression, right? So you can see maybe with a 12% function of that area, where I guess you would be depressed. Maybe the emotions are not, you don't get the happy ones, you know. So yeah, I'm talking to people all the time, and she's never heard of what I do. Never heard of it. But they met this woman on a cruise just before the pandemic. They came off this boat. It was an Esther Hicks cruise. And they came back in February, or was it March? I forget. But right before this thing was going down, where the cruise, you can't go on any boats anymore. So they came off the cruise, and they were all on this, high flying disc or whatever Esther says. And they were all like, oh, what's going on? She said it was like a whole different world. They come off this boat of, being on their, front end of their vortex, or however she says it, all aware. And they're like, wow, this is like so different from what we were just experiencing over the last week. But the lady was on the boat. So she was open enough to go on an Esther Hicks cruise, this woman, but she didn't know anything about healing or anything like that. But she's now a client. I got her a session this week, and she's going to go ahead. So we can, and I don't talk about how it happens. I just tell her that, I tell her other people that I've worked on, like stroke victims or people who have had concussions and so forth. So, and it just so happens that the sister of the one that referred me, I worked on her son, who has had a concussion, and mine was the only thing she did. She didn't go anywhere else and get anything else for treatment for him. She just did the brain regeneration. And she said he's like, now he just graduated high school. He's getting his own car, his own plate. He's like turning things around. And she said, it's just incredible. So yeah. And so it is, once people find out, okay, so that worked for you. And you can also do referral fees, or give them a little, spiff or commission or whatever for people who refer. That gets them more incentivized. Actually, one lady, I do give her, I work on her. So if she sends me somebody, then she gets a session with me or whatever. So we do more work on her. So she's finding people for me, so she gets her sessions or whatever. So you can do that as well. Referral programs really do work. So we can talk about that more too when we go into the business end of it. But is there any other questions? Anything else that came up?
Well, I feel like I'm talking too much, but yes, you go. Ari.
No, you can go first.
This is just maybe something you'll be covering today, but I feel like I'm not really very clear about how to maybe write an intention clearing statement.
Mm-hmm.
And so, because we start with that, and then we go through the process for checking the different charts, right? So
yes, yeah. So it's I guess if you go with the one with the muscle testing, it does say right permission and ability to enjoy. I like to put that word in there. Joy is a high vibration, whatever. To enjoy 100% optimal, fully functioning, blah, blah, whatever it is. And then anything around that issue. So it could be then letting go of inflammation, letting go of fear, whatever you want to let go of, then that would be, so you've said what you want to enjoy, then you're saying letting go of all this stuff, and then letting go of domination, suppression, and control. So I always put that on there because until somebody's done that whole clearing, which I did send the PDF on that, domination, suppression, control, and held back, held down. So those are 4 large clearings. So just know that don't start that up at 9 p.m. or you're not going to get through it. So they might be, a work in progress that you work on that occasionally here and there. But until that is clear, that's why I always put that letting go of blah, 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 domination, suppression, and control.
Okay.
So
that makes sense.
That's at the end. Yeah. So what it is to enjoy, then what it is to let go.
And then once you've worked on an issue, does it need, like you just said, you might return to it, but generally, do you consider that like done? Like, or do you need to
Yes.
do more?
Yeah, and the reason I said to come back to it is because they generally are longer clearings is what I've found for most people. I mean, you know, they could be 4, 8, 12 hours, whatever, of just intending that you're clearing this stuff, or more. It just depends on people's frequency, I guess, too. So now, of course, involving your higher self, let's get this done, you know. But the problem, I guess, with it is that because of all the different lifetimes we've had, how many have we been suppressed? How many have we been controlled or dominated? It's just, I'm sure, almost everyone, right? So there's a lot of stuff there. There's a lot of stuff. And so the clearings, even though there's the page isn't all, you know, page long of stuff to clear, it's big stuff, right? So I would start that because it's going to be very beneficial to no longer feel restrained or held down or controlled. It's a freeing, uplifting feeling once you get that stuff out of your cells once and for all. Yeah. So yeah, yeah, absolutely. So that's why I'm saying you might want to come back to it, because you know, okay, I'm only 10% clear, 11%. Okay, fine. I'll come back to it tomorrow, or I intend to continue this clearing. Let's let the energy run on this clearing, and then throughout the day, maybe if you think of it again, you know, later on in the afternoon, okay, you know, let's continue with this clearing. You might check then, and you went from 12 maybe to 13 or 14%. Without even doing anything intentionally, but you set the intention earlier that you want to continue to run that. And so, yeah, I find that too then with clients I'll be working with, and we didn't get done with a full clearing in their session that we had time for. A lot of times I'll just intend to let that run, and then their next session I open their chart back up again, and it wasn't 70% clear. Now it's 75 or 80 or something like that, right? So it does work. It works. It actually works a while after you're complete. So if you're moving energy, I mean, and this is not to be unfair to people's time or whatever. I mean, I work the whole session, you know, but essentially, if you're doing, you know, working the energy, you could, after a while, not do anything and just sit there, and it's still working. So you don't, it's that letting go of that, I have to do all the work. I have to do all the work, just letting that go. And it's just, it can be easy. It can be much easier, right? So it's allowing the grace and ease and the beautiful unfolding of the transformation. Doesn't have to be a lot of work, you know? So yes, I'll, you know, I continue to work, but then I guess what I'm doing then is that after their half-hour session is over, since I've continued to work, now that it's working for them for another 15, 20 minutes or more, whatever, whatever it was. But yeah, so you'll see that improvement continues. Yeah.
I did muscle testing clearing today.
Oh, okay.
And but I didn't have so much time, so I thought about you know, speeding up the process. And,
all right. How'd you do it?
But I had an intention to clear within 5 seconds or something.
5 seconds. Okay.
And but I'm not sure. I got a muscle testing that it was clear. But can you check? Maybe you can check it.
Okay, so for the whole chart, everything on the muscle testing chart. So let me pull up. I have it here. All right. All right. Charts. Here we go.
I think it was working.
I'm not getting this totally
the
finished
part.
yet for some reason. So let's find out what's not complete yet. Getting like maybe 55%.
55%?
Yeah, so something's missing.
Okay.
But yeah, so I was gonna check to see what it is for you. All right. Bloodline. Bloodline is generally has been the longer one. And soul contracts, yeah, soul contracts aren't complete yet, and neither is bloodline.
Okay, yeah.
So those are the two to concentrate on. And if you can speed those up, that would be, I'd be real interested in what you do. Because those are the two. I don't know why. There's a lot of stuff in there, but anything else? Yeah, concentrate more on that and then let me know.
Okay, I will.
Later. Okay? Yeah.
Thanks, Emily.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have another question as well. Do we use the muscle testing chart on clear body ownership, your body's information, suppression, domination, control, telepathy?
No, there was a separate PDF for that. Did you get that one? It says control. It says control, suppression.
Okay, control, suppression, domination.
Hearing. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So
that's a whole separate one. And that's the one that I was saying that has typically been a real long clearing as well. Because let's see, there's soul contracts in there. I guess that's what took a while to. Bloodline is in there too. Yeah, bloodline and soul contracts. So once you get those in there, that's what seems to have been holding up the show. Yeah, bloodline in all four of these.
Okay.
And same with, yeah. And then there's a clearing at the bottom going into the second page or the next page. That's for the right permission and ability to be heard, to be seen favorably for my gifts, and to use my gifts openly, to trust the process while only those that resonate with me find me, letting go of work others think, fear of harming or taking advantage of others, or letting go of what others think, fear of harming or taking advantage of others, being ridiculed, shamed, held down, held back, forced to be less than, can't fully express or live to full potential, can't honor self, difficulty trusting others, restricted, controlled, trapped, suppressed, punished, or dominated. So we figured that that would be a good comprehensive clearing for energy healers or healers, right? So to use our gifts. And so a lot of stuff came up around that too. So you'll see that whole long list there. There's also bloodline, soul contracts right up at the top there too, and a lot of dark energies. I abbreviated these on the bottom, the dark energies and so forth. So you'll probably, once you get the entity chart, you'll see, oh, rep is a reptoid. GR, that's a gray. I mean, you'll see on the chart, right? So I just kind of went down in order, and instead of typing it all out, I just, a lot of times just do the shorthand version of it. So
where are you now?
I'm on the last page of control.
Okay, last page. The abbreviations there.
Yeah, on the very last page, you'll see I just got like two letter abbreviations.
Okay.
Yeah, and so for me, it's like identifying things. I just, you know, just move on, right? Instead of typing the whole thing out. And I guess I didn't realize I was putting this into the PDF that way. Otherwise, you might not know what I was talking about. But you will once you check the charts, and it just kind of goes down in order with the attachments.
Do we need to know at that point? is it important to know at that point? Like,
actually, that's a good point. Because no, you really don't. And that's what I'm talking about, is right here, all of these abbreviations. But and really, who wants to talk about reptoids? And let's not even give them all that time anyway. So let's just do abbreviations.
yeah.
That's all they deserve, right? So but here, Lucifer stops, that was LS. That's easier for me to type. Then I typed out all this stuff. And then there's so we mentioned yesterday on the perception chart, atheist thought forms. We mentioned group mind virus, black magic. That's what this all is here. These are typed out, but then you're going, all of these are the attachments, which you'll get the list today. And then from here on down, these are from here, these are the anchors for those attachments that they can leave: embedding, implant seeds, mechanisms, wormholes, permeations, nanointelligence. And then these are the emotions, like emotional thought forms, emotional brain programs. That's the emotional chart that you got yesterday. So that was added. I checked the emotions chart then, and, oh, okay, yep, these two can go on there. And then DNA, and then that should also say and DNA of others. So DNA/others, right? So if you have that.
Will we know we're doing these clearings, how far back we're going? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
How far back?
Lifetimes, or does that matter?
Oh, how far back we're going to? Can you say that again?
In our lifetimes, like when we're clearing this?
Yeah. We don't need to know. We don't need to know how far back we're going.
We're just clearing it. And then
exactly.
We'll know when
so
we're
this,
done.
yes, and then so the intent really is to clear everything on all levels through the whole continuum, through your, so that's like all timelines, past, present, future, whatever. Yeah, so on all levels throughout the continuum. Really, you can add that if you want to, because that's what we want to clear.
So basically, it doesn't matter where it came from or when, we just want to clear it.
All levels are in the continuum.
Okay. So anyway, yeah, I do recommend that we all do this chart, this clearing, suppression, domination, control, and this will really help us as healers as well.
And so once we do this, we don't need to do it again?
No, correct.
Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But I think I tried, that's what I tried when I got these things on the side of my head. And I might not have done it right because I was so sleep deprived and mentally crazy, but, and I definitely didn't do that clearing. Like I wasn't sure what to do with that page. So I'll do that now, but
okay.
I cleared the other chart. Can you check me and see if I really succeeded with that? The perception.
With suppression, domination, control, you did those? Okay, suppression. You're 40% on suppression.
Oh.
Domination. Okay, yeah. Bloodline's not clear. Soul contracts aren't clear.
Okay.
The curses are not clear.
Of course.
Atheist thought forms is clear. Group mind, that's clear. Cycles, that's clear. Lucifer stops is clear. So it's the bloodline, soul contracts, and the curses.
Okay.
Yeah, domination. Oh, 58% there. Bloodline and black magic, atheist thought forms, DNA, and timelines.
I do have a question. If we are successful in doing all this, does this mean that we're clear for the next lives?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, because our bloodline is from all kinds of bloodlines, right? It can be from, gosh, I mean, who knows? We were, I'm sure, male and female. We were farmers. We were, mayors. We were I mean, you know, we were French, we were, you know, Italian, whatever, right? So we've got all this blood.
Right.
Seriously, I know I was Italian a few times. I was in Italy. Actually, I was Michelangelo's assistant at one time too. And it was tragic what they did to him, because he just got a little stipend of money to paint the Sistine Chapel, and he was hiring other people like myself, I guess, and they didn't pay him when he completed it. All the money and riches and gold that the Roman Catholics had, and they did not pay him when he completed the Sistine Chapel, and that was, I guess, heartbreaking for artists. But they killed me in that life too. It was a little later, because I was much younger than him at the time. A man, I was a man, a Storga or something like that, and so I guess later somewhere they drowned me in some river or water or something, whatever. But yeah, they weren't very nice, right? So I got that blood in me, you know, or I did, you know, I mean, that potentially was the bloodline that I would have had. So I was carrying all kinds of stuff in mine. I cleared that. So for me, suppression, 99%, something I didn't get all the way. Domination. 99 on domination. 99 on controlled. Something I didn't get. There's something, maybe it's not even on the chart. Is that correct? Yes. Oh, now I got something I gotta find. 99%. I'm 100 on the bottom clearing. I did get that. So it's the suppression, domination, controlled, held back. I need 1%. So I gotta find what that is. Control chart. So if I find it, I'll add it on there. And okay, so interesting. That's very interesting. But it is enlightening, and it's so freeing now, because I don't feel like an emotional tug anymore. Like at one point I was like walking around like I felt hopeless at one point. This is before I did any of this work, consciously, but I felt like everything was just was wrong, and nothing was gonna work itself out, and not particularly in my life, but the world. I was just so worried about the world that things were just going to hell. I was like, stuff's got to turn around. What is going on? And I was just well, I did these clearings and I did the work, and I don't feel hopeless anymore. As a matter of fact, I'm joyful about what's to come. And I'm excited about changes and things that are happening and what's to come. So, yeah, I'm sure this has got a lot to do with it. Really does. So, yeah. So now I'm thinking the person with the depression would be helped by doing clearings like this too. Yeah, suppression, domination, control. Suppression, domination, yes. Not so much the other two, I guess, but if we could add suppression and domination into depression, that would be very helpful for depression patients. But anyway, so this is real highly recommended to do, and even just to start these. And like I said, just start them. And then intend that they're going to clear, right? And then come back later. Okay, I've got this chart open. I got this chart open. I got this chart open. I've got whatever. You can have a list of them that you're working on for yourself or even for clients. I have a list of everybody that I'm working on. And it's amazing when I come back to that list that a lot of it has already improved. So I just need to start at 90%, and go the rest of the way and get it done, right? So and you can track yourself and see, okay, so this has taken me this long. Now, if I do it for somebody else, Is it the same amount of time? You know, and just kind of check your pace and see how things are clearing for you, and just notice things, just be really observant and how this is working for you, right? So if you're just like, wow, this is taking forever, well, what is it that's taking forever? Okay, maybe bloodline. Okay, so then that's how I realized, okay, those are huge, a lot of stuff there, right? So yeah, getting their higher self involved, of that individual, and then my higher self working with their higher self. And for this planet, the main overseer is Christ, right? For this planet, for Earth. So you can involve, you know, Jesus as well. He's the actual assignee to Earth, right? So our masters. So you can involve him, and I find that things work a lot, like when I'm doing the attachment clearings, that they know where the spirits go, and, you know, I don't pretend to know where they're going and where they should go or where they deserve to go. And that's, I guess, where I say, you know, please allow these spirits to go and transition to where they deserve to be. And then I just kind of like lift them out of here and like, okay, now you got them, okay. You know, yeah, and I confirm, yes, and it's all cool, and it feels right, and it feels good, and I know that they're being, because I did the same thing with my parents when they passed. They were still here, and I guess, you know, people can keep spirits here by just the emotional state that their family is in, can keep them pulled down from transitioning fully. So and it was my sister, very emotionally attached to my mom. Oh, not that I wasn't, but I mean, for her, there was some kind of contract, they had past lives or whatever. Anyway, it was very tough. So I did this for my mother and my father when they passed 5 years ago, about that. And yeah, and my mother now, she didn't realize what it was that I was doing. She had dementia and so forth too, and she didn't really realize it. But what the messages that I got after she passed was, keep doing what you're doing, proud of you, blah 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 blah. And so she's, you know, I mean, I can get messages from them, so they're on track, right? So I know what I did was correct and worked for them. So sorry, Mom and Dad, that you were case studies. Something so important, you know.
Can you release in the house? Like if it's not in the person, but in the house?
You can, yes. Yes, so now, and you can tell them that you don't want them in your space, right? Nobody should be attached to your personal space. Nobody, right? And they don't attach to me. But can they be in the home? Yeah.
Somebody's home?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, one time I was sitting here and I have a picture of my dad, but I got a lot of pictures in that one same spot. So he's behind a few other pictures. I guess this is me. Yeah. Me from when we were laying sod back when I was a teenager or something. But he's back behind, my dad is back behind these photos, and a few, like 4 or 5 back or something. All of a sudden I'm sitting there and this picture whaps down on the whatever behind me bookshelf, and it's, the photos are all laid down in front of him and he's there, right? So I'm like, okay, Dad, did I do something wrong? What is it? What did I say? You know? So he was telling me something and it made sense, you know. I won't go into what it was, but it made sense. So he was just letting me know that whatever, something. So yes, they can. But at some point you can say, I would prefer that you be outside. You want to be on the patio or whatever that would be more appreciated, you know. You can do that.
Well, I know of instances where there are spirits that they build homes on.
Yeah.
That's that. I don't know if you can get rid of those spirits. Can you?
Yeah.
In the area, I know of.
Yes. My cousin in Tucson, she after the divorce and so forth, and she moved out of her house, she went into a townhome, and this townhome had been built on, the whole complex was built on property that there was Indians, there was some real sorrowful things that happened. And so she was having stuff happen in her apartment or townhome, and she even had pictures of, like, she had a picture of her dad, and her dad had been, you know, gone for a long time. And in this picture of her dad, there's this weird apparition thing or whatever in the photo, which was never there before. And so things were like appearing there. And then one time she was in bed at night and sleeping, and then she woke up and there was a couple in bed with her, you know, ghosts. And they were sad, and it was just some tragic story they were telling her about their sorrowful life. And she's like, you know, so yes, it was on the property. It was there before, when they built the thing. So I cleared her townhome, and this was early on, so I wasn't really hadn't done a whole lot of them at the time. So what wound up happening though is she had a neighbor friend that came over and said that her place felt really happy and peaceful lately, and just, you know, she was mentioning that it had a different energy or different feel in her townhome, and that was a neighbor a couple of places away. So it actually did the job, not just in her townhome, but so you've got a complex now, you've got all these people, and you've got the land. And so I'm thinking, well, where does this end? Because the complex owner did not pay me to clear his whole property, you know. So I'm not going to do that really, but what I did for Mary helped other people in that same complex, and apparently, and they never came back, these spirits. And then she moved, so I don't know. After a few months, she moved, but during that time, nothing had reappeared. So yeah,
that's interesting. I wondered about that. So we can do that too.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I will. I'll give you a chart too on clearing property and how to do that, as well as the attachments. So, all right. So let's get to stop sharing that, and got a lot to cover here. So we left off. Okay, so we're gonna do your energy body. And open the video and we'll share the screen.
Finding fulfillment, passion, and purpose. Transformative healing and training with Marlene Allen. Training module number 7, your energy body. The health of our energy body is a result of our consciousness. So our thoughts, emotions, beliefs, past, etc. The energy body or centers are the aura, the chakras, the life force, a frequency, a vibration, and they're also indicators of what is happening as a result of our consciousness with the physical body. It is always best to turn that around before causing problems. So when your energy centers are compromised, You have fatigue and no energy to do anything or to be active, and eventually you create physical symptoms in the related endocrine glands, where each of the energy centers has a connection. So everything is energy. We are all vibrating. The foundation is your energy centers. That is your foundation. So how you create your life is based on what you're holding in your root energy center. What are you holding there? Is it clear and conscious? Or is it based on the past? Maybe not good enough, or limitation, or beliefs of others that you can't lose weight, for example. When that energy moves up to your other energy centers, it can be dirty or clear. So depending on which you're operating by will determine what actions you take, and the illnesses that you contract, and the people that you attract, which can cause you to become stuck in their opinions and beliefs and disempower yourself. The third energy center is governed by the pancreas. So what are you digesting? The fifth energy center is governed by your thyroid, and its mission is to speak your truth. But what if it's based on the opinions of others and what you've been saying negatively about yourself? When we are clear, we can move up to the sixth energy center and see beyond limitations, to see clearly from within, trusting your intuition. And ultimately, the seventh energy center will provide connection, enlightenment, and wisdom, if based on clarity in all the centers below. Your choices are yours, based on clear truth, and your health and your weight, for example, will naturally follow. So let's do an exercise now and read your chakras and your aura layers. So we're going to read chakras 1 through 7, and we're going to read aura layers 1 through 7. There are more than 7 chakras, but for this practice, we're going to read 1 through 7, the main chakras, and also the 7 aura layers. There's also some sub chakras like nadis and so forth, but for this, we're going to keep it to the main 7. And then we are going to do a blast on all of your chakras and nadis and the aura layers, and we're going to do the 7 body chakras, as we were saying, and there's like 270 plus or minus nadis, N-A-D-I-S, in the body. So let's go ahead and blast at that, and we'll be intending, balancing, restoring, and repairing. So we'll read the layers of the aura now, as well as the chakras 1 through 7, and then as we get these read, we'll note these in our journal, and then we will go ahead and do the blasting. So let's stop the recording now.
Okay, did I send you the chakra charts?
Yeah.
Yes, I did. Okay. Chakra chart. So I think I sent that on day 1.
No, it was last night.
Or no, okay, this was yesterday. Okay. Chakra chart. So let's go there. Now, these are important. This is where I start with people. This, in the energies field, right? So first I check their life force, find out where that's at. If it seems compromised at all, then I go straight to entity attachment clearing. That's part of energy, and clear those. Then I go into the chakras and aura layers. So I probably got this backwards, but we're going to do this in the morning, and we're going to do the entities later today. But this is the order I do it in. Check their life force. If they're 50% or I mean, whatever, it's just like, that's pretty low. What's going on here? Okay, there's attachments. Let's clear the attachments. Then come back to read their chakras and then their aura layers, and get that up to 100%. Then I read their life force again, and that should be much closer to 100% by then. And if not, like you're at 98 or whatever, you're just going to send beautiful gold energy into their energy centers until they read 100. All right, so let's get the chakra chart. And
Did you say you sent that last night?
I guess so. Yeah, entities list, amplification chart, chakra chart.
That was on there.
Was that in the one that had the homework in it, maybe?
That was like when,
I think so. Yeah, there was 4 attachments. Here are your, okay, that's for day 2. Yeah, here are your downloads for day 2.
Okay.
I sent them separately after I sent the homework. Yeah, I sent the homework with the YouTube links, and the YouTube links are easier to watch than watching a replay of what we showed on, you know, sharing the screen of the YouTube, you know, of the video, because somebody was saying that their computer maybe was buffering or whatever. So getting the YouTube links and just getting it straight off YouTube is probably better to rewatch it. But I am sending the replay too. But yeah, chakra chart was sent a little later because I got the homework out first. And yeah, I sent it later. So
Did you send more than 2? I have the homework one, and then I have the next one that has the links for today's classes.
oh yeah, I did send one at 10 p.m. Pacific. So would it be 1 a.m. for you, Tracy?
Yeah, I mean, if it's not on the homework one, then I think I didn't get it because,
Okay, so I'm gonna forward.
okay.
It has the 4 in it. Does everybody need it?
no, I have it. I got it.
Okay, anyone else want their name on the email? Okay.
Attachments, entities, again, trying to keep me, keep me from getting it.
Yeah, or you know, it could be in this junk folder or something too. That
Yeah, I didn't see it. I've been looking, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So here it is. It says here are your download day 2 downloads. That's the
Okay.
well, it says healing training with Marlene and then dash day 2 downloads. And so I'm
Okay.
sending it to Tracy right now. Anyone else, let me know. But
Thank you. Sorry to interrupt the flow. Go back.
no, that's okay. If you don't have it, you need to see it. So let's share the screen here. Here we go. Okay, so this is what it looks like here. It's called chakra chart.pdf. So looking at chakra 1, this is the root chakra. And now we're doing the main 7. There's more than 7. And they will go up from here. So like this is the crown chakra, like chakra 7. Then there's 8, 9, you know, and you can test them anyway and work in them just because they're not on the chart. They are real. So yeah, so there's more chakras. Plus there's nadis, which I mentioned in the video, NADIS, nadis, and they're smaller little spinning, you know, vortexes as well, all over the body. So there could be one on the palms, there can be them on the bottom of the feet, or, you know, they're different places. So chakra 1, then this shows the chart of where people are in balance. So if you're 80%, if you read the person, okay, so you're going to read chakra 1. Okay, so what is the percentage of balance or percentage of their chakra 1? Then you're going to get 50, 60, 70, 80, whatever it happens to be. If you get 80%, well, maybe then that chakra is pink, you know, and some people can see colors, some people can't. Doesn't really make a difference. If you can, then you can go in there and look and see, okay, so what color is their chakra 1 currently? Oh, it's, you know, it's purple or it's orange. Okay, so you can look at the chart and just go orange. Okay, am I getting it's 30%? I guess. Sometimes they match, sometimes they don't. I found too. Because if I see orange, but if they're up to 70, that's not orange, right? I don't know. Maybe it's a offshoot of pink. I don't know. But I've seen it. It doesn't always exactly match. So my colors might be different from what I see from this chart, or they could be the same for you. So, or, you know, just know that it doesn't really matter. It's really what the percentage is, and you just want to get it to 100. Okay, so so these are explanations of the different colors and the percentages of where that could be. So yeah, so with no first chakra, people can be unable to walk. When healing a missing chakra, then you can do that gold healing with a spinning, with the spiral, and that can activate that former blueprint of the chakra.
I think they're called satellites. The little spinning.
Oh, okay.
Satellites. Little satellites.
Oh, all right. I like that. So some people could be missing a chakra, and if so, then we're going to restore it. Okay, bringing it back. So that's possible. So, and then ask, if you're doing that, ask what caused it to go missing. Sometimes if you're going to get an intuitive hit here, then it could be maybe something on their continuum, on their timeline, past lives. It could be an injury, accident that happened, maybe the way they died before, something like that can certainly happen. So it says before, prior to coming into a current body. So you want to clear that issue then before that healthy chakra can actually stay. So that's something that you can do then too, is just to see, well, okay, this is really compromised here, or it's missing. Let's go into the timeline and see if you're getting an intuitive hit. That's great. Timelines, we do that in level 2 because it is a lot to know. But for these purposes, you can just send the beautiful gold energy into it. If you're getting a yes on was it something on their timeline, and you're getting yeah, then just send the beautiful healing gold energy into the timeline and intend that that's what you're clearing, and then just come back and check. Ariel, did you have a question?
Yeah. When you're asking what caused the chakra to go missing,
Yeah.
what kind of technique are you using that?
Well, then that's going to be more if you're in tune with your intuition. So sometimes you're going to get, well, I would just ask it first of all with a yes or no. Is there something on their time continuum, timeline, past lives that is in, that happened, that caused this, and generally, yeah, you're going to get a yes because it happened for some reason, now it could be current life. Maybe they were in an accident in the current life or something too. And maybe they are paralyzed in a wheelchair or something, or can't walk, or, that could be. So if that's the case, this is what we can do. We can actually bring it back. And then just say, okay, so is it something on the timeline? Yeah. Okay. Is it something I can just clear right now with sending in the healing energy? Yep. Okay. Then just do it. But if you get an intuitive hit, sometimes I do, a lot of times I will, like, okay, so, and if you go to your heart center, that's why you do the training videos from yesterday where, it tells us to get into this heart space, because this is where we need to come from to be intuitive, right? So this is the where you need to be, not up in your head, because that's not where you're going to get the information. You're going to get logical information like, well, maybe it was this, maybe it was that. No, that's not what we're going for here. We're going for if something intuitively comes, and a lot of times I'll get pictures or words, things like that. So like fire. Okay, so maybe there was a fire. Let's go with that, right? So, okay, there was a fire. So whatever lifetime that was, we're going to intend that we're healing that. The impact of the trauma from that time.
And what about people who've actually had organs removed and surgically in this lifetime?
Then they certainly can affect the chakras, absolutely, damage them. Maybe the chakra is in a compromised. It can be after they've had surgery. Certainly, this is what people really require before they go into the surgery, so that they're all 100%. I did that once. I had an elective surgery, the only one I've ever had, and it was an elective. And before I went in, I went and had my energy all up to 100%. This was before I was even doing this work, but I was I guess, smart enough to know that you need to go get help before you actually go into a surgery. So I was all up to 100%. And the nurse that was taking my vitals, checking me in, she's like, wow, you got 100% oxygen. Nobody has 100% oxygen. I'm like, well, I do. I'm prepared for this. But this is what people require before surgeries and after surgeries. Get them back up, get them, you know, boom, boom. But most of the time what happens is nobody does this. People, oh my God, they're out for days or whatever afterwards, suffering and, you know, recovering, recouping, whatever it happens to be. And do they ever come back? No, they're not at 100%. As a matter of fact, anesthesia can take you down to 1% life force, right? And you know, after you come back, yeah, then you come back up, but you never really come back up.
Yeah, this was me. I almost died in that surgery, but they cut me from the sternum to the pubic bone. So it's all, you know, so they removed organs, but they also, there's less, all those chakras are damaged, right?
Okay.
So we did some work on it about all the trauma around the surgery, but I was sick for years and I was hospitalized, and it was a lot of attacking actually beforehand for months. It was crazy. But I didn't know this work. I knew other things, but it wasn't enough to clear it out. But
okay,
I was super compromised when I went in for the surgery. But yeah, so can I work on myself, obviously? But
yeah.
So this brings up a point as we go through things, like if you, let's say it's for you or someone you know, can you just, in that moment, just make an intention to work on that for that person? Like you don't have to do a whole charting and everything. We can just start to send energy in there, right? So
correct. Yeah, I'll always read the before number, you know, chakra 1, okay, 60%. Okay, then, hey, is there something I need to clear off this person and entities and so forth? Yeah, let's do that first. But now we're gonna come back and then get the chakra up too. But I always get the stuff that's not you. I get it all the ickies off you first. Then we'll come back and deal with you, right?
Makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, but definitely do this for yourself and just then say, hey, am I missing a chakra, or am I, you know, in those areas that you had the surgery, or, you know, what is the reading on those areas? Are they still compromised? Or maybe the color, you're getting some dark spots, maybe in the aura. So you've got the 7 layers of your aura. Now, maybe you have a compromise in the aura, but not the chakra as much. Usually they kind of generally are work together.
Well, I've been doing a lot of work on it. You did too. So maybe one gets some, but maybe it's not complete. I don't know, but.
Yeah. So this would be great for you to find out what they all are. This would be a good thing to do every day. Until you know what it feels like to be 100% everywhere, right? So you're going to ask your higher self to assist you and get your chakra 1 completely balanced, in tune, 100%, optimal, you know, optimal health of chakra 1, right? So that's what you're really going for.
Okay. Right.
Yeah. So now this one spins both clockwise and counterclockwise at the same time. So down here, it goes from your hips down actually towards your knees. So it's a spinning vortex that's, you know, going both ways at the same time. So you can even do this with your fingers if you would like, right at your root chakra area, and spin it. Start spinning it. You know, it goes, you know, clockwise and counterclockwise, so you can go and do that and actually physically start moving it and intending that you're doing it. And I can feel that when I'm doing it. So then after a little bit, then test it again. Okay, now what am I? You know, and you can intend that then until it gets up. And if you're out in public, you know, you don't want to be doing then you're just, you know, sending the beautiful energy. And you can do this real subtly with your hands anywhere, whatever, but sending the gold energy into it then. And so some people like find other ways that works for them, and that's great. Or you can just say, hi self, chakra 1, 100%. And a lot of times it's like, okay, we're in line, 100%, you know? So you can do it that way too, and find out if that's working, and what it is. So if not, then just manually start spinning the thing. Chakra 1, it's the survival. 80% of the time, the condition of a missing chakra is related to trauma that occurred during a past life. We just mentioned that. But illnesses and accidents within a current lifetime can also be causes. I think we said that too before I read it. Okay, possible reasons for that could be, yeah, cancer, a damaged first chakra. It could be, yeah, cancer, cardiovascular system failure, which really kind of means the circulation is off, or an accident, physical injury, decapitation, because chakras 1 and 6 loop together, right? Yeah. So when 1 is looping and 6 is gone, boy, that's probably not that common, but but it could be from a past life. Okay, so just know from a past life, those things happen more commonly. So chakra 1 will feel much of your immune system, your skeletal system, digestive system, liver, kidney, stomach, spleen, gallbladder, and the DNA survival programs. So that is, if you're having somebody with a problem in any of these areas, digestion is off, okay, check their chakra 1 as well. That'll give you a clue. Hey, chakra 1 is off. What's up with this, you know? So that it's going to give you clues. And going through these, you'll see, okay, this does connect with this. Now that makes logical sense that this is not working right, and so forth. So being kind of an investigator here is actually kind of fun, because you're putting the pieces together. It's like, oh, I get it. That's because of this. Ah, yeah, okay. And then you can muscle test. Yes, that's 9/10 of the issue. Okay, well, then we'll work there and we'll find out what the other 10% is later. Chakra 2 then is up from that. It's the sacral area around the hips and the female creative center. Now, the male reproductive center is chakra 1, but female creative area is chakra 2. Okay, so, and that's why there's a little bit of difference here for what 100% means if you're a woman versus what it means if you're a man. So if you're at pink and you're a woman, now you're at 100%. But if you're pink and you're a man, you're only at 60%. You know, so they want green to be 100% for them. But green for women would only be 97%. It wouldn't be optimal, which is pink, right? So pink is the color of divine female love, strongest color for most women in expressing creativity on a physical level. And now this, women, just so you know, and men too, this is our creative center, but they call it miracle center. We create here. So what did the creator do, right? Created. So this is like our God creator center. So we can come up with miracles from this area. And I believe that this is why women's power has been, you know, reduced or delegated to not worthy. You're only worthy of, you know, reproduction. And once you're past that stage, you're put out to pasture, right? And that whole agenda came about because of the fear that women are so powerful that it would just be game over if we actually had the power back again, right? Like we used to a long time ago. And when women had the power, they weren't using it anything against men. It was more like we were working in tandem. We had things fine-tuned, right? We've included both sides because women do that, right? We're includers. We don't want to exclude. Okay, well, we're number one. You guys are out there. That women don't do that. Men with egos do, and you know, want power and control and all that. Yeah, that's what they do. But women don't tend to be like that. So, so really, when they talk about a matriarchal system, they're not talking that men were excluded, but women made the decisions and had power because they do. So it's this miracle center, and you can actually activate the miracle center and use it to manifest from. So just know that this is a beautiful processing area. And so is removing ovaries, is removing hysterectomies, is this a attempt to remove our power? Could be, right? Because they go to that like boom, like, oh, hysterectomy. How many hysterectomies do they perform when they don't even, when they could be doing this, right? Let's do let's get your sacral chakra up. Let's work in the ovaries. Let's work in the reproductive center. Hey, maybe there's some emotions attached here. Okay, that could possibly be. Absolutely. So we're going to take back our power, right? So, and men, this is for you too, because you have been ripped off as well. Because if your wife or your spouse or your mother or whoever had this power, then you could have been, benefiting from it as well. So we've all been compromised because of this. But anyway, so then you can read the different colors if you'd like here. But this one spins counterclockwise in the front and clockwise in the back. Okay, so you can actually then do the counterclockwise in front, clockwise in back, and spin it that way. And we'll test it first to see what you're at. And then get it to 100, right? Or you can see pink, just say pink, 100% if it's a woman, or if it's a man, just say green, 100%. High self, let's go to 100, boom, right? You can do that too. So this one could, if it's missing, it could be a violent assault on the area, physical injury in a past life or cancer, same kind of thing, I guess. That's the first chakra. So third chakra, this is the solar plexus right here, and it's the willpower. It's the personal power, self-esteem from here, courage, all that, right? This is also the area where, of course, you've got all these glands. The pancreas is in there. This is digestive, colon, stomach, all these other things are in chakra 3. So if people are having issues with their stomach, then you can check back on chakra 3 and chances are it's going to be compromised. It's not going to be at 100% because everything happens first in the energy center before it moves into the physical. So it's had to have chakra 3 compromised for quite some time, out of alignment for a long time, usually before a physical issue will start manifesting. I'm like, okay, you didn't keep me, you didn't keep me balanced every day or every week or every month or every year. So over time, it's just, okay, now you get stomach problems, right? But where did the stomach problems start originally? It was even before the chakras. It was in the consciousness. So it was in our beliefs. It was in our thoughts about ourselves or about the condition, or we spoke poorly of ourselves. That black magic, those words, the words that become our biology. We maybe used, those black magic type words that, oh, I always, or my, putting the word my in front of it, condition, my arthritis, my whatever. You're claiming it. So no longer use my in front of any condition. It does not belong to you. It's not yours. Okay, so take that word my out of there. And I do tell clients when I hear that, I'm like, okay, so let's stop claiming it. It's no longer ours. We're removing that label. So just know then, that those words have the lower frequency and we lowered ourselves by going there. So chakra 3 then is the color 100% is green. If you see colors, so you can just ask yourself first before even looking at the chart, what color is my chakra 3? And just see if you can come up with a color and then look at the chart and go, oh, it's green, yay, or whatever. So that's one way you can do it. But this one spins in front counterclockwise. So this is the opposite of the second one. So counterclockwise in front and clockwise and back. Yeah, that's the third chakra. Yeah, so missing chakra 3 could be being burned at the stake from a past life. I laugh, but it's not funny. It happens. And sometimes I would used to have like a itching here. I was hung, like a rope, you know, was like itchy. So being burned at the stake, being betrayed and killed by followers. Like the crucifixion. Okay, it also includes being rightly and wrongly killed, murder. Who was crucified can also have chakra 3 missing, or a person who did good and was killed off by the church can also be missing the third chakra. Exposure to a poison in this lifetime, radiation, chemical poisoning attacks the physical body and can cause missing or broken third chakra. So after you've spun it a while, then check back and see if you're at 100. Chakra 4, the heart center. This includes lungs. It includes your arms and hands, wrists, carpal tunnel, anything like that. Can also include shoulders. Can also be like the back in that middle section, right? So lower back issues are another chakra lower down, but chakra 4, anything in the middle, back pain in the middle, any of those areas, right? Lungs. So this has a lot to do with relationships, has a lot to do with, well, if it's lungs, you know, guilt or, you know, the right to be here, you know, breathing in life. You know, you're not breathing into life, or against it. Yeah, so in the heart chakra, okay, so red is the color here for 100% in that area. So red provides the yes to love and connection. Red is the strongest energy for the heart chakra. It's ancient, it's been wired into the embodied human spirit since time began. It said that love is the most powerful force on the planet and that with love you can move mountains. We create miracles with red as the power of love. When the heart chakra is in this purest form of red, the energy of the human resonates way beyond unconditional love and joy, which is between 500 and 600 on that frequency scale. So this kind of love will have a resonance of a vibration of 700 or as an enlightened master. So I'm going to check to see where we're at now today with our frequency. Let me look here now. Okay, we are at 700. Okay, so very good. And I'm going to continue on with this, but so the vibration right now is at 700. And so this is a great great resonance to be in. And so that this can mean that you can become more intuitive now, and you know, to have that compassion and to have that those higher feelings, you know, the love, bliss, joy, and so forth. So love energy is in its red form. It can mirror to others and create a revolution of compassion. It's that potent. And so this one spins counterclockwise in the front and spins clockwise in the back. So the same as chakra 3. So you can see yourself manually spinning it if you'd like. To do it that way, read what it is first, spin it, and then come back and read. So this one can be broken, this chakra, or if you don't have one, then the person can exist but not live a quality life, obviously, too. So they can commit spiritual offenses or become a morally bad person, evil people, have real compromised. Well, let's just see what a purple is at 10%. provides a spiritual essence in the expression of love. Purple in the 4. Okay, the experience of love is physical in nature. Well, that doesn't seem to be saying anything about an evil person, but anyway, so you can expand the heart energy and raise the function of the heart chakra to its highest energetic delivery by blessing and appreciating all the wonderful people in your life, being grateful. You can make a list every day of what it is that you're grateful for, you know, like a top 10 list or something. And then you can change this every day if you'd like, or, you know, add something to it. Continually update your top list of what you're grateful for the day. So, and by getting off the track by blaming and being unhappy with others. So I've seen that. I see it. People who complain a lot, you read their chakra 4 and they are compromised. Chakra 5 then, this is the throat chakra. Pink for women is 100%, but for men it would only be 40. So men want the green color, right? So communication, for women it's in the strongest if it's delivered in the space of nurturing and love, and that's why, I guess. So pink provides the amplification of love, divine expression of female love. So we already mentioned that about the color. So for man, green provides divine male love and healing in his communication chakra. So for a man to align with his masculine nature using the direction of green love is the highest expression of communication for a man. So, but for a woman, green provides balance in her communication. She will experience the yin yang balance of her female nature with her assertive self. So yeah, a woman can more easily access the male nature because she is wired with all the male programs in her endocrine system. So we can access both. That's why I think we're so intuitive, or, you know, with the other person. It's like, I get it, but they don't get us. You know? I get it while you're doing it. I don't care for it, but I get it. But they don't have that same ability to see the other side, apparently. I don't know. Or I can't say all of them. There's some very sensitive people that can. Okay, we're not going to go there. But so a woman can implement colors specifically good for a man to use with no real loss in the potency of her chakra energy. A man, however, does not have the same access to the female hormonal body with all the added functions that a woman experiences in her hormones. So he will therefore not have as much ease and success if using female colors as women do with their chakras. So men, you're going to want to see green for this one. Now, this one spins clockwise in the front and both counterclockwise and clockwise in the back. Right? So you've got the clockwise going here, but you got both going in the back. So I don't know how you're going to chew gum and talk at the same time or something. You're going to have to, you know, try that and read it and then come back and see what it is. So a missing one can be caused by cancer, injury, or assault. Chapter 6, chakra 6, between the brows, blue, 100%. And the rich, deep, dark color blue provides the stillness from which to observe life and choose wisely. And the stillness, this is the meditation, right? So it's the third eye. One can know yourself truly as an individual, discovers their own nature. And, you know, this is the meditation. It amplifies and quickens the spiritual progression. There's a blue pearl meditation in India yoga tradition, focuses on the third eye as a blue pearl, and it deepens the experience of inner silence and divine connection. So you can look that up if you want to, but and then the other different colors here. So this one, yeah, it's going to be counterclockwise in front and both directions in back. So you can see that happening here around this area. And they actually do shoot out up, you know, past the body. So there is, it's not just, you know, an inch or anything. I mean, it does, you know, it does kind of, it's out here. So yeah, we're actually touching it, you know, while we're in here, right? So you actually can move it that way. So for missing or damaged chakra, injury, brain illness, dementia, you know, the brain thing, right? And if it's off or missing, the person you're looking at is in trouble and needs help immediately. You will not have access to your control center. This is, you know, what we talked about yesterday in, you know, going up into control. This is your control room right in here. This is where you go, you know, when you meditate, or it's where you go when you want to see what's happening and going, you know, going on with your body. It's the spirit of the center of the head. Yeah. Center or seat, control center of spirit in the center of your head. So that's where your spirit can go. Others will choose their life for them. And many times there is a possession of evil spirits or entities. Okay. Yeah. So this actually also is part of that body ownership. So the blocks to body ownership. So if a person is low in owning their own body, then this can be the evil spirits, and the other entities can, well, you don't own it, so they're going to step in, right, and take over and take the energy. So this is the connection or being cut off. And so we talked about that yesterday with the fluoride and the calcification of the pineal and chlorine and so forth. So dementia, mental illness also fall into this circumstance. Yes, so dementia, people with dementia then in mental illness, you're going to definitely want to look at, you know, chakra 6 for sure, but then you're going to want to look at the pineal gland itself. So that is for certain. And if you can read the glands and see, you know, hey, I'm only getting 30% here. Okay, this person really, you know, needs their pineal gland worked on. So chakra 7, the crown, gold is 100%. So that matches the divine frequency. And so this is the beautiful gold healing energy coming through, and it is, you know, matching that divine frequency. This is where you want to, and this one spins in both directions. So you can't get it wrong, I guess, whatever you're doing. Whee! I don't know. I mean, does that make you dizzy if you do that? You know, it could. So maybe even just seeing it spinning in both directions without actually doing it, you know, you can do it that way too. So this is the chakra chart. Now, if you've ever gotten a chart from me of your, let's stop sharing on this and we'll go to this one. Share. Okay. So this is like that frequency chart, right? So your vibration of frequency. So for like this individual, she started out at 331. After doing a bunch of work for her, she went up to 505. Another session, I checked again and she was at 524. So this person is really making progress and improvement in her frequency, but that's indicative of her health, her improved health, right? So this is that chart, the Hawking's, what's his name? Charles Hawking or something like that. Anyway, Power versus Force is the book he wrote, and this is the chart in there. So it's okay, but it definitely goes above 1,000. But on this chart, that's shows that that's it, but it's not. Ultimate consciousness. But this is where, yeah, but this, so when we say 700 enlightenment, yeah, that's where we're at right now. But we can go way higher than 1,000. So just know that that's available to you too. So here's the 7 chakras then, and this is what we were talking about. So when we're in the root chakra, you can dig out maybe your own chart and see what we put on here. But emotionally, if their first chakra is off, then you've got maybe they're having issues with money, or you know, maybe they found out they have to move, or, you know, shelter, food. Yeah. It could also be the provisioning and what's going on right now with the lack of different items at the store. This is causing an issue with a lot of people right now. And you can check their first chakra and see like, ooh, you know, because we're looking at money, food, and shelter. These are the basics. And they were like the rugs pulled out from people. And so those that aren't stable, you know, maybe they don't have their job at the moment and they're running out of money, and maybe now they're going to have to move because they can't afford the rent or whatever it is. And food's, you know, people are making a run on the toilet paper and everything's like, right? So check their root chakra and see what that's at. And a lot of times that's what is really took them down. Yeah. So physically though, there could be problems in the legs because it's where this chakra is located: feet, tailbone, rectum, immune system, the male reproductive prostate gland is in here. And then you could have, if you're, you know, the knees, right? The arthritis, knee pain, sciatica is down here, eating disorders and constipation. So those could be physical issues. But when it's balanced, you're going to feel supported, a connection to safety to the physical world, and grounded, right? So many people right now are not feeling safe in their physical world. They're afraid that they're going to get sick or, you know, get some virus. And out of proportion, I'm going to say out of proportion to really what's the truth. The truth is that you could get rid of this virus. Well, I guess the hydroxychloroquine is, you know, people are coming out of it in 4 or 5 hours, right? So is this worth all the panic when you can just go get something and come out of it? I don't think so, right? But people are in that fear. Their root chakra are just dropping out from out under them. And then, hey, what happens when this is out of proportion? Hey, maybe the regenerative knee doctors are going to be in business here coming up shortly. Yeah. How about, you know, digestive issues, constipation, you know, maybe men having reproductive, you know, they're feeling, hey, I you know, maybe they're low sperm counts or whatever. This is not the time to have kids, you know, I mean, all these things can happen, right? So it'd be interesting to kind of see where people's issues may go with having that rug pulled out feeling. And this is a choice though too, because I'm not feeling that rug pulled out feeling, okay? And I chose a long time ago not to work for a company because I've always got burned. Always. I don't know why, it was just me or whatever, but I always got burned in the in there, like you're doing all the work, but yet your supervisor takes the credit to the boss. The boss man is like, I did all that. Oh no, Jan, thank you, Jan. Look at your song. You did all went over and above. It's like, it would always seem to be that way for me, and I just knew I can't do this, you know. So eventually I well, over 10 years now I've been in business for myself 100%. And before that I was contractor, you know, so always having to come up with my own money, you know, 100% independent contractor. You're in sales, that's it, you know. So yeah, so that for me, I knew I could not have this first chakra thing going on. It's like somebody else is in control of my first chakra. I'm pulling the rug out from under me. And so and then you're counting on that person. So if they don't show up, but yet you just had a appointment with somebody and now they're supposed to talk with the guy in charge, and it took forever for you to get this appointment set up, and then the person in charge doesn't show up. Now it's just like, oh my gosh, I can't depend on anybody but me, you know. So then I got that thing. So I got to do all the work, you know, where, you know, delegating to a virtual assistant then became like, well, it's necessary. You got to give this up. So the feeling that you have to do everything. So then I did a clearing around that to be able to, you know, hand things off, trust other people, that kind of stuff. So but the back of it still sits where, if I'm in charge, I'm the only one I can blame if I need to blame. I don't, of course, but it's like, okay, I get it. And I was just looking here at a magnet I've got on the side of my cabinet. It's kind of small, so I'll read it to you, but it says, building your own business is the most intensive personal and spiritual growth and development program you could ever enroll in. And I second that, because I have grown as a person so much, because it's the tenacity, it's the stick with itness, it's the, okay, you just got yelled at by 4 people today because somebody, let the ball drop or something didn't happen. And it's like, so now you've got tact, you've got, stay with it, just hang in there, tomorrow's a different day. Deal with the situation, even though you want to go to bed and it's midnight and you're only halfway done. It's like, okay, get help. So that is the truth, that you will know yourself so much better than you ever knew yourself before, when you are totally in control of your life and your money and your situation. There's no paycheck. You're it, but on the other hand, it's so freeing that, I don't have to just accept $400 a week or whatever it is, whatever, happened to be at the time. I can go $4,000 a week. That job's not going to do that. They're capping. Even when I was an independent contractor and in sales, they said you get 30% commission on all sales. Oh, great. This is wonderful. So I go out and I just build that thing up from nothing. And then they said, you're making too much money. I'm like, well, if I'm making too much money, that means you're making a lot of money, right? No. That wheel didn't turn for them. They're like, we're cutting your commission down to 15%. And I said, well, this will not work for me. I will not be doing the same amount of work I was doing for only half the money. It just doesn't, no. And so they didn't want to share in the abundance. And so I, left, and they're not in business anymore. I'm not going to say it was all because of me, but a lot of it is, okay? A lot of it was, but because they got greedy, they just tore their own house down, right? So I've seen what happens on both sides. So yeah, if I want to make, I don't have to cap it at 30% commission. I can actually, it can be 100% commission because it's all for me. Okay, less expenses and all that, right? But being in control of your own destiny it's freeing. Because, okay, and here's another thing. I guess I keep all these beautiful words around me. It's my mouse pad. And this is from Dan Kennedy, the one that I told you with the pancreas and the liver. At the top here, it's about entrepreneurship, and I'll read it to you. It's, entrepreneurship is living a few years of your life like most people won't, so you can spend the rest of your life like most people can't. And this is so true. I mean, so many people will not do what I did over the last 10 years, because that's a lot of like opening up yourself to the truth about yourself. Like, oh, I'm a procrastinator. But yet when I just delve into it and get going, it's easy. I get it done. It just rolls. There's no problem. It's like, oh God, I'm a procrastinator. But once you realize it, now you can do a clearing on it. And why am I procrastinating? Well, and you can find past life stuff. You can find all kinds of things, reasons why, and clear them. And then the light comes on. The light starts coming on, and this is the path then to your, well, I'm going to say ascension overall, because once we're so aware and conscious and in control of our own being, now you are that sovereign person. You are that free sovereign person, living the rest of your life like most people can't. But other people did not go through those years of, heartache and toil and realization, like, oh my gosh, like a lot of people won't look at themselves. Their ego maybe won't allow it. Like, that's not me. That's somebody else. Blame it on someone else. But you got no one else to blame, yourself. But anyway, I regress. So let's go into, this is the sacral chakra, the second chakra, 2 inches below your navel. So physically, this is where issues then can be sexual, and reproductive issues in women. Urinary, kidneys are in here, bladder, hips, pelvic, low back pain is in here. Emotionally, this can be relationships, and it's our creative center. So like it's the creativity, it's fun, playing, having pleasure, going to a museum, enjoying beauty, art, that kind of thing. And so even going to a museum can actually help your second chakra, and just getting that back in touch with that creativity of others, and just say, wow, is that just amazing? And then fears of impotence or betrayal or addictions can be in there. So this is where we take risks, we're creative, we're committed, passionate, sexual, and outgoing. The message here is to honor others. I guess if that's the reproductive area, I suppose it would be. But number one, the message here is self-preservation, a right to be here. That's the first chakra. Okay, so third is, you were in here, but this is physically, it's the digestive problems, liver, stomach, pancreas, gallbladder, colon, diabetes, high blood pressure can happen from in here. So emotionally, maybe they've been out of their own personal control, self-esteem. So I'm imagining if people are like out of work right now, or suffering or struggling and so forth, how is their self-esteem? Maybe they can't provide for their families, right? So maybe their third chakra is going to go out. And if so, hey, are they going to be having stomach ulcers? Possibly. You know, that's how it works, right? So this, when it's balanced though, we feel self-respect, self-compassion, in control, assertive, confident. So the message here is self-acceptance, that self-esteem. Fourth, the heart chakra, we were talking about heart center. So physically, it could be asthma, heart, lungs, issues with breasts, lymph, the lymph system, yep, because there's the lymph nodes going on, upper back, shoulders. Emotionally, so it's issues of the heart, so it could be over loving, jealousy, anger, abandonment, loneliness, or fear of loneliness. So when we're balanced here, we can feel joy, gratitude, love, compassion, forgiveness, flows easy. So the message is, I love. Yep, so I say that too. And I was saying that last night when I was doing the clearings for the transmortals. I was saying, I love, I am love, I'm loved, because I am love. You know, and just keep going through, and that frequency is like, ah, darn it, let's get out of here. I don't want to hear that one more time. Love, yeah. It wasn't long, and you know, then I'd like fear, nah, and it's like boom, right? So love is very powerful. The word love, yeah. So the throat chakra, physically, thyroid. You'll often see if this chakra is compromised, then their thyroid may also be compromised. Let's look at this person. They had a 62% throat chakra. Let's look at their going down to thyroid. Yeah, she has a 33% thyroid. Yep. So that does have a bearing, right? So thyroid and sore throats can be in there, laryngitis, the TMJ, any ears, cheeks, lips, tongue, neck, shoulders, chin. Emotionally, it can be self-expression through communication. So this is the, you know, the throat, the communication, written, spoken. But here it could be no willpower or being out of control. Fear of no power or no choice. So this is why a lot of women are afflicted with thyroid, because a lot of, well, in the older days, we're told to, you know, be seen and not heard, or, you know, keep peace in the family. Don't say anything. Don't go, no, don't go stirring stuff up. And they, you know, women were you know, condemned for being little chatty Cathys or, you know, rumors and talking to others all the time. And so they were, you know, downplayed for a long time. Like, your opinion doesn't matter. You don't even have the right to vote. That's how your opinion doesn't matter, right? So we were told in no uncertain terms how unvaluable we were, our speech, our communication, our opinion, nothing, right? Okay, so yeah, and you think that this is just from this life. No, it's from other lifetimes, many lifetimes. So no wonder the thyroid is the way it is in a lot of women. Now, men, it's fine to speak up, speak out, be powerful, bold. That's what, you know, it has been in many generations. So not male bashing at all. This is just the way they had things set up, right? It's just what we heard and what we lived through and what we saw. So when we're balanced, then we have this great expression. We're good listeners. We can be like the Abraham Lincoln, the orators, and, you know, coming over with beautiful words and speaking up, letting our voices be heard. So the sixth chakra, that third eye, we're talking about physically and balancing there. They could be having headaches, migraines, blurred vision, anything with the vision, sinus issues in the face, eye strain, seizures, hearing, hormone function. Emotionally, this is moodiness or volatility, self-reflection, inability to look at your own fear or to learn from others. Daydreamers, maybe a real wild exaggeration. Although imagination is important, this could be like really off the chart type thing, going way out there. So when we're balanced, though, we're clear, focused. We can determine between truth and what's true or what's real. Open to receiving, you know, wisdom, insight, intuition, all that. And so it's seeing the big picture. So the seventh is the crown on top of the head. Physically, if it's off, you've got depression. So if your person has that seventh chakra off, you know, are they sad? What are they going through right now? Or, you know, something's going on. Or they could have sensitivities. I had a gal that she was real sensitive to sound. It's like, oh, everything was too loud, or their environment. Emotionally, it's issues with their self-knowledge, greater power. Here, imbalances can come from rigid thoughts. So like religious programs, like this is the way it is, rigid. You don't do this, you don't do that, you know, you don't eat meat on Friday, you don't, whatever, right? Programs. And spirituality. Constant confusion. You can carry prejudices, analysis paralysis. You never make choices, fear of alienation. But when it's balanced, we live in the present moment. We have inner guidance. So it's to live mindfully. Okay, so that was the, this is all about your chakras. Now with aura, I don't have a, you know, yellow, green, whatever chart on the aura. Let me share back again and just show you the just you know, the diagram here of the aura around the person. So the purple around the border, that's the seventh layer. So that's the one that's furthest away from the body, the one that people can feel if you walk into a room. So that's that seventh layer. And they call that the causal, I don't know. Anyway, it's the mental aspect, causal body. And then the one in from that, you have the celestial body, then you have the etheric template or the higher physical, then the astral body, then the mental body, then the emotional body, and closest to you then is the etheric or lower aspect body. And these do correlate with the chakras. So aura layer 1 correlates to chakra 1 because it says etheric body in the aura layer 1 is the lower aspect. Well, that's the lower, like the root chakra, right? Though that's the lowest chakra aspect too. I don't know if I've got auras on here. No, I don't. This is on my older ones, I had the auras on there too. But yeah, so, but they are very similar. So, you know, the communication, the fifth layer is also, you know, associated with the fifth chakra, the communication, thyroid, and so forth. So, so what you're going to do there is very similar. They don't spin, they just are. There's, you know, it's a layer of you that's there, right? Energetically. So you want to look at the brilliance. Is there dark spots? You know, is there gray? You know, black, right? Is there something that's like, goopy looking, or dark green, just gross, right? Something something that's not of the brilliant, bright, beautiful, clear, clean colors that you want to see, right? So, and then they can also have holes. The aura can have holes in it. So like if you do have a surgery, like Tracy was saying earlier, yes, check your chakras and so forth too, but you want to also go into the aura layers and see, did they leave the impact here while I had a surgery? What does my aura layer 1 look like now? Well, that one could be gray, right? Or could be white if there's medical control energy. And you don't want it white either. You want it colorful, you know? So, so if you can see colors, that's great. But otherwise, you're just going to get a percentage again. So aura layer 1, you know, 60, 70, whatever happens to be. And then you're going to really just kind of envision that you're clearing up that aura layer. You're just clearing out the sludge, clearing out the gray. So you're actually sending in the gold healing energy into that aura. And sometimes I actually do it. You know, I'm just sending in this gold energy into that aura layer, and I'm just bringing it back so that it's more of a brilliant color, right? So you see what it feels like to you. Sometimes you'll feel your hands moving in different directions or areas that maybe that's where, you know, you need to focus, or needs more attention there, or something's off. Some people can use their hands if somebody's laying on a massage table, for example, and they can use their hands and just say, oh, something's off here, you know. You know, you can do it that way too if you're with the person, but if you're not, you can energetically do that too and just see, you know, like, okay, so aura layer 1, you know, how's that looking, you know, and oh, something's not feeling right down here. Let's spend a little time at their knee. Something's going on around the knee or whatever. So you just play it by ear, but if nothing else, you're not getting any hits at the beginning, doesn't matter. Just sending in the gold. Send in the gold, get the color up, all right, and get that, you'll find then it'll come up to 100%, right? Same thing with aura layer 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Check them all, get 100 for that. Now, so then go back and check their life force. So that's the first thing I do. It's just like if you go into a doctor's office, they have the stethoscope or whatever, you know, the intake thing, you know, they take your pulse, they take your temperature, they take your you know, heartbeat, whatever. That's what we're doing here. We check the life force, then we check for attachments, clear them, then we check their chakras, get them up to 100, and then their aura layers, get them up to 100. Then you go back to life force, check it now. It should be much closer to 100. And so, and then if it's not, if it's 90 something or whatever, then sending in the gold into life force. So now you're just seeing, you're just intending that life force is going up. So sending in the gold energy to their life force energy. And now, okay, 100, good. All right, so now we're ready to start whatever problems otherwise that they could be having or experiencing. So now let's go into what are your issues. But when they were telling you, a lot of times I ask them what's their issues, and I let them talk while I'm doing this work. Right, so I let them tell me, oh, I'm having blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, I'm doing blah, 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 blah. And I'm seeing, oh yeah, look at chakra 7, what she just said. Yeah, no wonder she's got the sensitivity to loud noises. You know, I see what's going on. So I'm letting her talk, but at the same time, I'm getting clues. I'm getting information. I'm getting hits of intuition. So I just let them go. Whatever, they gets it off their chest, and they feel that they're been heard. you know, a lot of times, like you go to the hairdresser or the bartender or whatever, they listen to you. The people just need to be heard and listened to. But then the good thing is unlike a hairdresser or a bartender, we're able then actually to, we've just put the pieces together, find out what it is the problem, and we can actually then clear it too. So bartender can't do that. They can just give them that ear, which we give them the ear. And it's more like a life coach. So in a way, we're coaches too, right? So you're you know, just giving them that ability to vocalize their issues. And a lot of times for them, it's healing for them to actually then start realizing where things are coming from, because then you can show them, like I use the screen share and I show them their chart and I say, well, see, digestion, you know, look at your third chakra's been way off. So no wonder there's a problem with that. Oh, you know, they're getting realization here, like, wow, so maybe I have no self-esteem. Well, there's the problem, you know, or, you know, making it real simple here, but for them, it's a good realization that now they've got to take some responsibility too, right? So we're not just doing everything for them. They're now more aware of where their consciousness has been. Their awareness has not been on that, but now it can be. Now that you pointed it out, they've got a reference now to where I haven't been doing that, but now I certainly can and should be, right? So it's eye-opening and people like it. They like to know what it is going on. So let's see here. We've got, so that was really what the rest of the video was going to talk about anyway, so we don't need to play the rest of it. It was just a few minutes left. So I don't know if you need a break at this time. Do you want to take a little break? I think we should, huh? All right, so let's do that. I'm going to stop screen share for just a few minutes. Let's take 10 minutes and come back. Okay? Sounds good. Welcome back if you're here. Two, 9. Looking for our next video here. Okay. Okay, anybody have any questions on chakras, aura layers, the energy centers, life force, frequency of vibration? Before we move on.
You don't have any clearing chart on auras, Molly?
You know, I do have information on auras and I will send that to you. Yes. I guess I didn't realize that it wasn't on the chakra chart. I thought it was altogether when I sent it. It's not. So yeah, I will dig out the auras chart and get that to you guys too. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Probably redo the chakra chart and just add it on their chakras and auras. So, okay. So let's move on. In the interest of time, we're going to look at your attraction power. So this is going to be a big part of what we do for the rest of the day. This is a short little video, but
Finding fulfillment, passion, and purpose. Transformative healing and training with Marlene Allen. Training module number 8, your attraction power. Yes. As we go through our lives, unresolved traumas and emotions add up, which weaken our energetic field and lowers our frequency of vibration and our life force. And a loss of personal power causes us to become vulnerable to lower level issues that match our same low vibration. You may have heard of the law of attraction. It works by attracting to you what you send out, and it actually works both ways, the beneficial and the not so beneficial. If you have a lower frequency of vibration, you resonate with other things that are also of a low vibration or resonance. So what you are attracting to yourself when you're putting out such a low vibe issues such as aches and pains, illnesses, negative thoughts around self-worth. We make poor food choices, for example. So we can then attract energetic interference or entity attachments. They're essentially parasites in our energy centers. They are not human and can include ghosts, lock-ins, evil spirits, negative spirits, aliens, and more. They feed off our physical energy and maintain their life force by stealing ours. So in our previous module, when we checked our life force, if it was lower than 100%, there's reasons that your life force is lower. Now, of course, they're not always going to be because of spiritual interferences, but I always go there first and check, is there spiritual interferences involved here? So if I get a yes, of course, I'm going to be checking, see what they are. So you no longer completely own your body when these are attached to your field. So it's an open invitation to let in these invaders. They can put thoughts in your head and cause you to think about or do things that you normally wouldn't do. So they can remove our sense of body ownership, So we're less aware of our feelings and senses of maybe around hunger, for example, and what the body is really asking for. So when you no longer feel the lower half of your body, you are not aware of the messages that it sends you, that your body is sending you, and what is correct for you. So your choices then are not in your own best interest, and your body suffers. So these attachments and entity interference can cause uninvited thoughts. It can cause feeling helpless, digestive issues, slowing down, or they can stop healing. There can be heartburn, issues with the stomach, self-confidence, shame, suffering, loss of control of the body, and oh, so much more. You cannot have fully functioning energy centers when you have these parasitic attachments in your energy centers. So one woman had several demons causing many issues and negative thoughts about herself, which caused her to eat out of control. So we cleared them for her and worked on her issue, and now she said that she felt a dark cloud lift off her shoulders. She's finally at peace at where she is in her life. She's no longer insecure with herself, and she was able to see clearly what she was doing, and then actually the weight started coming off. That's just one example. There's so many other things that can happen. So what we want to do here is do a test. We're going to read for entities, and then we're going to clear them. So we're going to take out a journal or something to write on. So we're going to go ahead and look at our interference chart. There is a PDF for interferences. So there's a chart here that you'll want to download, and
it's actually called entities list.pdf. That's what I'd said earlier. So yeah, so we're gonna
refer to, and in this chart there are a list of a lot of energy attachments, and we're going to test for each single one. We're going to read and test for any and all of these entities, and then we're going to clear them. So go and get your.
Okay, so so if you have that PDF, otherwise I'm going to share the screen here with this entities list. Okay, so there's quite a list, and we're starting with the ones, and I guess you would say they are the most damaging, kind of at the top, but these are the ones that cause mental illness. The alien type 5s cause mental illness, and a few of these do. So you first at the top of this list, I've got grays, and they're damaging, totally 100% damaging. They're also parasitical, they're, parasites. They dominate, amalgamated, control, they're controlling. So they want to overtake and control and dominate a portion of humanity. Mid-range, they're lacking in spiritual awareness with a desire to establish a foothold on earth, but they are weak in size, lacking in love, morality, kindness, and accountability to others, right? So they don't have a conscience, they're just low vibe beings are what these are. Now, of course, we're not saying that's, everything has its purpose, I guess, in life, and maybe they're from a place where this is where they're evolving from, and maybe they're just not far enough along comparatively. So we're not judging, we're not really putting in here. We still want to remain as the non-emotional observer, and especially when working with these type of entities, right? So just coming from that non-emotional, whatever it is, that's just the way it is. Right now, I guess, so we're changing it though. We're going to transform this. So the problems that they can cause are depression, psychotic, borderline personality disorders, emotional rage, confusion, helplessness, physical illness, disease, pain, or addictions. So if people come to you saying they're depressed, you can check for these, or they have addictions. This could be somewhere, they could have attachments, right? And telling them to drink or whatever. So how they can anchor. So these are the anchors then. So we mentioned I was doing a little shorthand on that clearing about the anchors. So I had EM for embedding, PE for permeations. It's too hard to type out that whole word. Seeds, SE, wormholes, WH, that's what I wrote on that chart. But, and at the bottom of this chart, the last page, there will be the full chart of anchors. So you can see them there as well. But just know that these things can leave 98% of the time. These grays are going to leave holographic inserts in a body. Okay. So let's go to the bottom. In here's a chart of the implants. So if the grays were going to leave holographic inserts, that's these on the bottom. They are just what the name refers to. It looks like something other than it really is. It's not like a hologram kind of thing, right? So it can mirror or prevent people from seeing what is really there or seeing it or whatever it is. Lives as a highly advanced mechanism. Now mechanisms are up here, which are 9 moving parts up to control or dominate an area. Okay, so now when these things go in and the gray takes off, for example, you cleared the gray, but you didn't clear the holographic inserts, now they can come back through the holographic insert because we didn't get rid of the anchor or the seed or the whatever homing device that they left. So now, so here, alien types 3 and 7 are the source. I guess it doesn't say the headings here. The source of these things can be from alien types 3 and alien type 7. I don't see grays on here. It doesn't mean, this is not complete, obviously. But if there's wormholes, you're gonna check for, if there's transmortals, you check for wormholes, but I've got it up on the list here too. So, however, what you're also gonna look at is this is the area that they are in, energy, and they can be in the meridians and some of the nadis, which are the little mini chakras, and in essence, which is spirit. That's where this stuff can be. And you clear it by the basic swirl hand movement, and then a little karate chop. So, and then it says here too, you must clear the bloodline and agreements to be fully effective here. So that's one thing to look at. So now you've also got at the top of this list of anchors, you've got embedding. So this is embedding of that alien itself into the matter, human, physical. Human DNA is, where they're kind of embed into. It's in the soul essence, so clearing with that little twisty motion. Implants, they're like a little cylinder device. It transmits information to alien technology. Basic, to clear. Excuse me? Yeah.
My son, when he first started this, he's in his 40s. When he first started this in the 20s, he used to talk about aliens all the time. And then, then he started into drugs with a girl, and that's when it went overboard. When you were talking about this, how far does it go back? Like when he was a baby, he was doing things that weren't right.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
He was a child. So can it go there? I know it's bloodline, but then he came into this life this way?
No. No, it's by being here in the, on Earth, whatever. These things are, they come up from lower frequency place.
Lower frequency.
Yeah, these things come from a lower frequency place. They come up into the earth and just to suck energy from humans, and that's their thing, right? So, but children can get attachments, yes, but generally children have such a bubbly, happy disposition that they don't really resonate with this, so you don't really find it on children, but you do if it's around the house. If it's all over the parents and everything, then the child can certainly, get attachments
The
to.
husband, it was a husband. Yeah, okay. You answered the question.
Yeah.
The husband, when I was married,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
it was him.
Yes.
Yeah, he had it and attached and attached.
Uh-huh. Yes, certainly.
Yeah.
Certainly.
That answers the question.
Yeah. Yeah. And they are not all aliens are bad. I mean, if he was studying aliens and doing that's fine. You
Yeah.
know, there's just like people, they're not all bad, you know. I mean, some are good, some are evil, whatever's, you know, the deal. Same with this stuff. Aliens, there's good races, you know, really helpful, benevolent type races out there that are actually doing things for us here on the planet Earth. They're not really supposed to get involved or have, you know, their agreement was not to be, you know, without our, because we have our own free will. We haven't asked them to come and help us, so they're watching us going, what in the world are you guys doing? But they're stepping in.
Sometimes they get in from good to bad though, right? I mean, like.
No, not necessarily. No, but you know, different races are different. Different races of, they're from different places, and so maybe on one planet they've got all these, you know, grays or whatever, right? And they just don't have a conscience. They're not human like us. They don't have that, oh gosh, I hurt somebody. Doesn't matter to them, you know. No feelings, you know, like they're just not evolved enough to get into that, what we as humans have been given. So so now I'm gonna, we can come back to this, but I just wanted to show you that these are on the last page, the implants or the seeds, the anchors, and what they are. And so you're gonna check for these as well. So the chart here will tell you, like for grays, so how they're gonna anchor. So then we looked and saw that holographic inserts is one of the anchors, permeations was another. All of these are anchors. So, so after you clear the gray with this karate chop, then you're gonna check, oh, there's grays. Okay, how many? 1, 2, 2. Okay, so then you karate chop them away. And then after you've done that, then you're gonna come back to the anchors and just say, okay, so did they leave holographic inserts? Well, 98% of the time they do. So that's probably a yes, right? Permeations, maybe a yes, potentially. Embedding, maybe not, right? So auditory scions, half and half. Seeds, hardly ever. Wormholes, hardly ever, but it's possible. So then you're gonna go back there and just check, okay, so yes, I got a yes on holographic inserts, I got a yes on permeations, and that's it. Okay, so then you can come back to the anchors chart and just say, oh, that's the twisty thing, so I'm gonna clear with the twist. And then, okay, is permeations complete? I don't get them anymore. Yeah, they're gone. But then holographic inserts, yeah, they're gone. However, I was supposed to clear agreements and bloodline. So now I've got to add that into what I got to do and check on all three, make sure that they're all complete now too. So, so that's the grays. And then reticulans are another breed, and they take over the minds of people. Humans as slaves is what their agenda is. They're deceptive, they're dominating, amalgamated, controlling, and damaging. So they can cause also problems in the mental, right? Same as the grays. So mental illness, depression, disease, relationship, love, atheist thought forms, meaning I doubt myself, I doubt my healing, or aging or dementia or Alzheimer's. So check a dementia patient and see if they have these attachments. They are lacking in loving kindness. They don't, small in number. So how they, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, what's the percentage number after, you know, deceptive 100%, dominating 100%?
Yeah,
what is
yeah. And it's,
example, or
it's not even necessary to even know that.
really, but they are, all of them. That's what they're going to do. If you see a reticulant attached to somebody, they're always going to be dominating that person's field. They're going to come in through their thoughts. They're going to feed them information that's nothing to do with what they would think of normally this person. And so maybe they will actually do things or say things to others that they normally wouldn't. It would not be their own choice.
So that's the control percentage after all of these anchors and things.
Yeah, well, I mean, they are controlling as well most of the time. And that's all that means. You don't have to clear anything there.
Yeah, I can see embedding 100%, mechanism 98%.
Yes, so these are the
technology 96%. Is that the controlling percentage number, or what is that?
No, so these are how often are you going to find these anchors? So the reticulants are always going to leave embedding. That's what they do. 100% of the time they will leave embedding. So if you found that someone's got attachments of reticulants, you will need to also clear the anchor of embedding. That's what that means.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, these words up here, you don't even you can just ignore this stuff. It doesn't mean you have to clear anything there. It's just kind of a FYI, you know, that's what they do, kind of, you know, who they are. But then you get down here, yes, you got to clear these anchors, and then the anchors stop here. However, there's anchors of emotions in a lot of these things too. So they will, you're going to need to clear greed 99% of the time. So if you check, yes, they have attachments, these attachments, yes, they have embedding. I've cleared embedding. I've cleared mechanisms, whatever. Now, greed. Okay, I'm getting yes to greed. So I got to clear greed, probably resentment, maybe anger and unforgiveness. And then, you know, the percentages go down from there of what you're going to find. However, test them all. I mean, 5% of the people do have the sorrow, you know, that needs to be cleared too. So if people are in these low vibration emotions, the state of blaming others for things, right? Now you're in that same resonance. Blame has that same resonance as these reticulants, right? So if you want to be in blame, just know you're now resonating to this stuff. It's pretty scary, right? So this is another reason, just to keep your you know, being aware, non-emotional observer, you know, going only I'm observing. Oh, isn't that interesting? Oh, okay, that's what it is what it is. Okay, no emotion there, right? But if you're in hate, or you're disappointed, or you're bitter with people, or your greed, you know, is showing up, apparently that's the same frequency as this stuff. So that's what you're going to do. And to clear, that's that hand twist. Reptoids are another breed here to enslave the minds of humans, to live through, have a partial life, cruel. Their race is dying off. But the problems they can cause also in the mental illnesses, schizophrenia, love or relationship problems, money problems can show up here. And here's how they anchor 100% of the time through permeations and probably embedding portals and auditory scion, something with the ear here. And then there are resentment and unforgiveness are emotions that they resonate to. And then clearing is that shooting dice, you know, that kind of movement, but you're just kind of doing it like this. Then there's an alien type 6. Okay, so alien 6s, satyrs, they're controlling. They want to establish a foothold here and destroy. They destroy their own past life and probably their planet, whatever. And so that's what they want to do. Enslave, punish, but they're lacking in a plan. They have no structure, not unified, chaotic, whatever. They're not going to be here for long, these things, because like I said, the resonance of the earth, she's not going to be taking these slugs with her, right? So the slugs, and even that's what we're saying too, and I don't want to call people slugs, but if you're only in 100 something frequency, you're not keeping up with, you know, this is the dawning of the age of Aquarius or whatever, you know, I mean, you're not on that same level yet, and it's okay. You just maybe just need some more time. Maybe you're just not an evolved spirit yet. You haven't been around yet. You just, you know, you're here to experience the experience of Earth, because there's all different levels and everything. So you're here, but maybe you're just not now in the same resonance to move on with everybody else who is. So that's all it is. And so then they can cause health problems. They're also in the brain, Alzheimer's, dementia, and digestion. And here's their anchors. They're always going to be leaving implants, probably mechanisms, seeds, and holographic inserts in wormholes. Then also anchor, 100%. You'll need to clear anger if you find these. And maybe malice. Okay, and then here again, clearing with the little karate. Transmortals. So these are the ones that I found last night that the one person brought over with her. And, you know, not to be unfair to this person, because she works with, what do you call, seniors in a facility. And of course, they have a lot of issues. Okay, so digestive fear, nerves, illnesses. Okay, so people in these facilities they probably have some kind of illness. Maybe they're in fear, who knows, but they've attracted all this stuff in these homes, right? When my parents were in group home, I would go and clear my parents, but of course it's like all these other people were in there and the whole place, and it's like, this is like a revolving door, you know. I mean, it's a full-time job just to sit there and clear everything, right? I mean, once you get everybody cleared, now you've got moving in and out, whatever. It's, yeah. But they're Mothmen, I guess is their name, whatever, but they take over and dominate the emotions of humans. They can enjoy causing harm, chaos, pain, suffering. They travel into a body through wormholes. So a wormhole's here, 100%, right? So you need to clear wormholes as well. So I'm checking, I've got no wormholes, good. Travel into a body through wormholes. We're related to demons. That's what it felt like. It felt like a demonic energy. That's why I was checking first for demons. But then I'm like, okay, it's not, it's transmortals. Looks like a devil image, I guess, if you can see them. I choose not to see this stuff. It makes it so much easier. They live in their realm, but appear in humanity through wormholes. They come up, you know, go, you know, through a wormhole, through the energetic wormhole. They would love to take over Earth, but their body's not suited for this climate, blah, blah. So checking for wormholes all the time, probably embedding in seeds. They can also splice into your DNA, so as not to be noticed, usually. Then there's nanotechnology, that's another anchor, and mechanisms, maybe. But 100% you're gonna need to clear hatred and anger. So people who are very angry, so she must be, I guess, yeah, she's probably is an angry person herself. So that's why they probably latch onto her at that facility. I can see that, yeah. She doesn't want to be there, you know, kind of stuff like that. So the hand twist, and that's what I did last night. I was doing a lot of this. Okay, so then alien type 4, Zeta, they're a reptile. And they want to take over the planet, undermining human confidence, certainty, kindness, cause the feelings of separation and aloneness. Is what they do. So weaknesses, though, they need more light. You're not going to make it here. Damaging to humanity. They cause physical illness, mental illness, anxiety, psychiatric anomalies, pain, and they're also responsible for suicide. So that I was saying before about psychiatrists and therapists, and you know, and there was a woman who was in that field, and she came to me and she said she wanted to help children, and she wanted to use my method like this to be able to help them. But it became obvious to me that she was not right for this class. We did not continue because she had this group mind that she would not do certain things. entities do not exist. So therefore, she is not going to include this in part of her program. You say, well, how are you going to effectively, clear the children? Okay, so you'll work in their emotions and you'll work in perception, but you will not touch anything else, even though you're not going to get a 100% effective, comprehensive clearing unless you address this. And I address these number one. They're number one. Get rid of this stuff. And if they're causing psychiatric anomalies, right, mental illnesses, anxiety, these children with behavior problems and so forth, where's this stuff coming from? It's just not all the child's fault, so we didn't see eye to eye. And I'm like, you have to include what is real. This is real. You cannot avoid it or discount it or not include it. That medical control energy was running, and the atheist thought form, she would not believe it, right? So yeah, I suppose we could clear that, but it's not for everybody, right? This is not for everybody. If you're so entrenched with the therapeutic model, the academic textbook versions of everything that must be followed to the T, then this is not the protocol for you.
Robin Williams.
Robin Williams? And what about it?
He killed himself. And nobody even knew what was wrong.
Well, that's what they're saying.
But they
wasn't he necktied?
Yes.
Yeah. And you know who else has been necktied? Anthony Bourdain, that chef. Mick Jagger's girlfriend. Many people have been necktied. So they don't all just commit suicide themselves, right? They had things going for them. But that's the story we were told, the depression and so forth. Oh, he was giving up. This man was not ready to give up, okay? I mean, yeah, there may have been some, his career may not have been where he wanted it. But then, I mean, but look at, like Mick Jagger's girlfriend, she was a designer.
Right.
And yes, so her career was, not going as, but she's Mick Jagger. Okay, so don't you think he could help, get her some connections, and you know what I mean? It just didn't make sense to me. This is not, it's not like you're just down and out. You have nobody, no family, no friends, no connections, nothing. I'm just at the end of my rope, right? No, they weren't. So there's agendas, there's reasons that you don't do what we say, you don't want to play the game, then you're out, right? I mean, there's forces that be, unfortunately, and hopefully they're on their way out because their frequencies aren't going to be matching either. And this is the beauty of what I see is going on here is you make a certain amount of money, and past that, now you've got handlers coming and telling you how it's going to be. And they handle you. Okay, they're the handlers. And you even hear it sometimes slip out, like so-and-so's handler. I've heard it mentioned when they didn't really realize they were saying it like that. Michael Jackson, his doctor, giving him, I forget that name of that drug, whatever, gave him too much. Well, what about those songs he was putting out? Nobody cares about us, and he was in that prison or something, and he got all the prisoners kind of like uprising, nobody cares about us. And, songs that he was singing, he was coming up to like enlightening people about things. And oh my gosh, too many people are listening to him. He's got a following that we cannot handle, right? So there's a lot of people who have been done in.
Things are happening behind the scenes, you're saying. It's not all that it seems.
No. And then there's the story, the narrative that comes out explaining why he was so depressed and he just couldn't deal with it anymore. And, okay, people buy that. That's, what else are they going to, these trusted sources that for years have been telling us information that we believed was true. And a lot of it is true, but in a spun kind of way, you know, or maybe it's not so true, but they've got an opinion that they want out there for people to buy into, right? So an agenda. So that, again, back to yesterday, who do you listen to? Who do you believe? Who do you trust? You know, and it should be your own intuition, and do the research. Go yourself and look these things up and find out. There's a lot out there, especially if you go on YouTube, for example. There's all these, there's a lot of reporters that used to be journalists in mainstream type situations or newspapers. A lot of them got laid off, you know, because the newspapers are kind of dying out in medias and so forth, or they have been it doesn't resonate with them anymore. The story, the agenda that they want them to write about, or to their editors say, no, you cannot print. We're not going to print this. Truth or not, you know, it's not. That's not what we do. This is what you can do. You know, around these this guideline, outline, whatever. So people got disgruntled, and they went, and now they are independent journalists, and a lot of them have YouTube channels. And they're brilliant people, and they actually still do journalism, which means that they research things, and they don't just print the agenda or what the talking points of the day are. Now, I used to work at a newspaper a long time ago, and it was a daily paper, and in the composing department, that's where everything that everything that comes through, all the articles, all the stories, all the advertising, everything now is coming onto and being placed on the page of the newspaper. Okay, so that's the final stage before it goes to the printing press. So now there is an editorial department, but everything that comes into composing, composing doesn't matter. They don't care. Everything that comes into composing, boom, gets placed on the page and gets sent to the press. So what is avoided, the AP, Associated Press, sends out about 4 a.m. Information comes over the AP, the wire. And it avoids the whole editorial department. It doesn't even go through editorial. The AP wire was in the composing department. That means it comes over the wire and boom, on the page, straight to press. Nobody verifies anything. Nobody. That's not the department for verification. That happened before in the editorial department, but it doesn't come into the editorial. They just assume it's all true. Whatever AP says goes straight on the page and goes to the public. So that's why you hear all these talking points about different reporters. And they had a thing once where they had the same story, and they had like 40 different people, reporters, and they're all saying the same sentence, and they had them talking all at the same time, and they were all saying the same thing, exactly word for word. So they all got their information, their talking points, over the wire at 4 a.m. Now when they come in, this is what you read. Okay, this is it, right? You tell people that. Well, all 40 stations or wherever were saying all exactly the same thing. So who verified it? Didn't go through editorial. We don't know. We don't know where this came from. Who is AP? Where does this come from, right? We don't know. They're saying that, you know, they've got their own, journalism or their own, ways of collecting the information, but they're not questioned. Let's put it that way. So again, who do you listen to where you're getting this information? This is, so people could have mental illnesses. Maybe he was a little, Robin Williams was a little, sad about maybe his career wasn't going the way it wanted to, but he was not ready to pull the plug and do it all in. So some of their suicides are not suicide.
Oh, okay.
No, hand twist. Okay, so then we have another alien. So this was an alien for Zeta, reptilian. This is an alien for Archon, also a reptilian. And totally controlling and control the emotions of humans to take over people's activities. So their weaknesses, though, is life is lived in one lifetime, but their life can go up to 20,000 years. So not in the same body, much shorter than our more immortality. In and out of bodies. We go in and out of bodies, but they don't. Okay, so problems taking away people's inner vision or intuition, interfering with that divine connection. So you may see that people with a compromised 6th or 7th chakra, you know, maybe they have these attachments too, right? Because of that connection has been tampered with. So embedding, one of the anchors, seeds, mechanisms, probably. And then you get down to emotions, unforgiveness, disappointment, resentment, and bitterness. So find out, you know, they got one of those, 4 of them, whatever it is, and clear that with the twist. Here's another alien, but this one's a type 2. And it's a reticulan B is what the name is. They want to take over human activity, kill off the human race, inhabit the airspace around the earth, and experiment on humans. Weaknesses though, their spirit, no soul, no oversoul, no protection. So they can have a sick spirit and they can die off. Or we can transform their energy and they can be taken off. So occupying thoughts is one thing that these can cause. So if a person has these continual thoughts, like why is this person always down, or what's good, you know, and problems with body ownership. So that's what we were talking about too. If you don't own your body, other things can, yeah. But they can cause your problem with body ownership, right? So that's not good. So then you've got the anchors here, and then you have the emotions here, and the twist. Okay, so here is a alien 8, synthetic. And it wants to control over the lands, mean-spirited, physical though, their race is dying off. So they can cause illness, physical breakdown in any type of area, right? Physically, the matter. And here's how they anchor it. And then you're gonna find anger here as a lot of it, and hatred. So people who are always angry and, you know, a lot of the time hateful, they can certainly have these. And then it's the karate. Then another type 8, this one's the Ashtar, and it dominates human feelings, experiments on and damages, harms humans. They can't live on the planet, and the current body cannot breathe their air. So that's good. But they can leave this stuff, they can splice into our DNA, they can leave nanotechnology. And then you want to check for these emotions. They cause mental breakdown. That's what they do. And then you clear them with the hand. Alien type 3 is a burrower, says snake-like. So they burrow in, right? And so they can burrow in like DNA, they splice into your DNA and that kind of stuff. They leech off the humans and earth destroying resources here. They're physical, not suited for this planet. So they can stimulate an illness, respiratory issues, or a person can struggle with the right to be here and belong. So that's a lung issue too, right? That not breathing into life. So respiratory is a lot of it. And I do check for these for people with a respiratory issue. Anchors here, seeds, all of these. Oops. And yeah, bitterness, disappointment most of the time, hatred. So that's why it's so important to be non-emotional, you know, is so critical, just to keep on it, you know, be neutral. If you can't be up from love or above, right, at least be neutral. You don't want the, you don't have the luxury really of going into these lower frequencies anymore, and then shooting dice to clear it. Alien type 7, Men in Black. This is currently common, but it's on its way out. I do find these a lot. And certain times I find these, it's weird because I used to find a ton of these. Now it's kind of like gone down. So it's interesting you can find this too, then, you know, what's making its way out maybe, but they want to rule over, punish, occupy humans, but their spirit can be killed and end their existence. They're weak, right? So, so maybe we are having an impact on their ability to be here. I'm hoping that's what it is. And they can cause uninvited thoughts, body ownership issues, and rule over each person through their thoughts. That's their main thing. And they can leave holographic inserts 100% of the time. They, you know, people are bitter, disappointed, unforgiving, resentment. People don't realize that I cannot, you know, I cannot allow that person. I will not forgive them. You don't know what they did to my blah, blah, my family. They are just, no, I will not. Well, here's the thing is that you're not, forgiveness doesn't mean you have to forgive somebody and hold them not accountable. It just means that you are giving yourself. You're not giving them anything. You're giving yourself the peace of not having to resonate with this stuff, right? So it's more of a gift to yourself. And it's not to let them off the hook. It's just more of, I'm not going there anymore. I'm going to be neutral about this whole thing. That, you know, it's really interesting what they did. But oh well, it's, oh well, you know, we've got to move on. And I'm not going to allow this anymore. I will not allow that to continue to be an issue with me. So I'm giving that up, giving myself that gift. So the shooting dice or the basic swirl is fine. So you can also do, it says here, a lasso, you know, imagine that you're lassoing these, you know, securing them, tying them up, you know, their hands on, you know, feet, whatever, tying them up, and then moving them out. So then there's another Alien 7. It's a draconian, and they want to take over humans' bodies and minds and dictate, turn into slaves. They can slow down or stop healing. Money issues or body ownership problems, they can cause those. Here's the anchors that they leave, mostly mechanisms. And then if you're bitter, angry, 100% of the time, you got to clear anger. And then the shooting dice to clear. Here's another Alien 7. This is a Bortine, and they want to investigate using humans in experiments, but they're real small in number. I don't find these very often. I do, however, they have come up more recently, I guess, but just not very, very often. But body ownership problems and systems problems, like the respiratory system or the digestive system. So not just one area. They anchor in with these, and you're going to want to clear bitterness most of the time. Again, anger makes it in here, so it's, we don't have the luxury of being angry with people, or we really don't. It's just, yeah, it's damaging. And then the karate chop. Now here's an Alien 1, and it's an iguana, and I do find these, you know, quite often. They want to do harm, they want to occupy human bodies, but they are weak. They don't have what they need to have, you know, and they project themselves into people. So they can cause negative thoughts, preoccupation with survival issues. So it's like a chakra 1, that root chakra type thing, right? Survival brings them down into that, you know, which is a really low place to be. So embedding 100%. Holographic, you got to clear those 100% of the time. So you check, there's probably bitterness that you're probably going to need to clear, anger, you're probably going to need to clear, unforgiveness as well. Clear them with the shooting dice. Chameleons, they're also a reptoid, but an entity, right, is what they are. They're found in bunches or swarms. They're here to suck the life out of humans. They're from an earthly plane now, but they originated thousands of years ago as an alien visitor. Ineffective individually, they must be in a group to have any type of power, but they inhabit a weak, sick part of the body. So if there's an area that's a weak area already, then that's the area they go into and dominate that area. So they own it so that the healing can become either impossible or slow it up or make something just stuck so it's not healing for them over time. Wow, that just, okay, I gotta check these. I just checked this individual. I'm thinking a name came up, and they have a lot of these. Okay. All right, sorry about that, but I think I need to clear them for this individual. Okay, and then here's how they're gonna anchor in. So none of them are real 100% here, so they may not use any of these, but they could, holographic inserts. But disappointed, somebody's disappointed about something, you know, something is that they're bitter, they just can't let go. I can't believe how my father treated me, you know, 40 years ago or whatever, right? I can't let that go. Yeah, so you want to clear them again with the shooting dice. Now, evil spirits, I do find these quite often. They're amphibian. They're a human type of a spirit, but dark. They wish you harm. Physical health issues, emotional health, love and relationship issues, and they can anchor in implants this way. Bitterness is probably something you're going to clear, and resentment maybe. Shooting dice or the karate. Now demons, here's anything demonic, they're demons, right? So evil and energy in nature, undermining, they can take over a person's inner compass and lead them to darkness. So things that maybe somebody wouldn't have done, they didn't start out that way. The neighbors say, well, he seemed like such a good guy, but then lately something's been off with him, right? That could be. And they can cause pain. So if somebody's saying they got pain in the bones, nerves, that kind of thing, you check them for demons. Dark thoughts, stimulates evil behavior, and restless legs. So if someone says they have a restless leg syndrome, don't send them to the purple pill or whatever it is. Check for demons, you know. And then how they anchor, permeations, mechanisms, pretty much 100%. But deception, and this is where, you know, like the same as the demon, this is, you know, if someone's a shady character, you know, deceiving, or they're unforgiving, they're disappointed, I guess that's 73% for blaming. And then clear them with the shooting dice or the karate. Risen demons, it's a variation of a demon. These are bad boys lacking discipline. These can cause, and that's why I checked these on myself last night, because irregular heartbeats, but it was more of an anxiety feeling, like you know. So, but these can cause, I had someone call me once, she was on her way to the hospital thinking she was having a heart attack. And I said, oh my gosh, let's clear off these attachments that you have. And I did. And she called me later and said that the doctor there at the hospital said that there's nothing wrong. She was not having a heart attack, but she was having heart palpitations. I said, yeah, I told you that. And they were clearing at the same time that she was probably seeing the doctor. So it can be this pain in the bones, heartburn. It can cause that heartburn, nerve pain or numbness, and migraines. You want to check. This leads me to a woman. She's 18, and she went to work in a care facility for seniors or something like that. But she's in the kitchen. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. She said she's having headaches or migraines. And I thought, that's just 18-year-old. What do you got to have a migraine? but now checking, that could certainly be where she works. So how they anchor, implants, yes, most of the time. And then anger, you're probably gonna need to clear that. Most of the time there's crushed. So something where it was just awful, right? bitterness, frustration, that kind of stuff. And the hand twist, the twisty thing. Okay, now ghosts. Now, so now we're getting into another area that is not of the alien variety, if you will. These are more spirits. These are spirits that they can be human, like ghosts are human. They're people who died. They haven't progressed to another realm. So they're out of their body. And like I said, if their family is grieving really bad, they can actually pull them back down and they can't move on. And people after a certain point can't move on. They're lost now, right? So it's like, well, they're stuck here until somebody, and sometimes I get people that come in with the client and they know that the client has a session with me. And so they're telling me stuff like somebody said, you know, I just get this love, tell them that, you know, I love them or that kind of thing, you know. So there is messages sometimes, or they know that you're somebody that can assist them to move on to the next realm. So you can get that. And that's where, okay, so down here to clear the basic hand, or help from Jesus or other divine being. But I was saying Jesus is the one on for earth, assigned to earth. So so he's the helper here that you can ask for assistance. And then that's why the lifting process, that's why you can just kind of see them then move on out, you know. Okay, so and gentle. I mean, these are people like your parents. I mean, they don't have to be mean ghosts, you know. They are who the person was. You know, so my dad would never be a mean spirit because that's not who he was, you know. But there's mean people, and so that's why you've got mean ghosts, right? So, yeah. So it's relevant to who you were on the planet when you lived. So then problems that they can cause, they can hurt the body. Person will look gray. So if I've got my Zoom on and someone comes on and they're all gray looking, okay, so there it goes here. Or you can see, you look in the mirror and you get this feeling like something's looking back at me. It's not me. This is not me. Or they can have issues with their stomach. I had, and I'm going to show you this only because I believe it's relevant. It's not because I thought my haircut was so cute. My God, the bobs. Okay, so this is me. And this is the 60s. And you see my belly? I'm 7 years old. I'm not pregnant. You know what I mean? So what was going on there? Okay, well, first of all, look where I'm at. I'm at a care facility with my grandmother. Spent a lot of time when we were visiting her when we were out of town. So spend most of our time at the care facility day after day after day after day. There's something in the, I don't know if you can see this or not, but there's a light in the window and behind me. There's something in there. And there's spirits all over the place in there. They got into my stomach and they were attempting to live through me, you know, experience, go for the ride. And 70% of the time they use your DNA to splice into you so as not to be noticed. And that's what they do. So, and they can also prevent infertility, conception. So they can be in the person's field, attached to the person's field through their DNA, splicing into their stomach, wherever they're going to be. Or they can be in your home or on your property as well. So, but regardless of where they are, they can still be cleared with the same clearing. So how do they anchor? Was there a question there?
I have sometimes when I'm sleeping, I have this sensation in my solar plexus. It's like a shooting, and my whole body is jumping. Is that a walk-in or?
Transmortals. That's what I had last night. Yes, that's exactly how it felt like. It felt like the. I'm gonna tell you what. It felt like like there was energy like on the bed, right? So I mean, I'm laying down, and it was like the ceiling fan was going around, and it felt like it was kind of like the ceiling fan was moving energy, right? And I felt like the whole room was just moving, and my bed like kind of felt like it was a vibration there, and it was like, yeah, my stomach felt like that. So yeah, transmortals, and that's what I was getting for you too. I'm not getting that you do now, but that could
was that a transmortal? I was sleeping, and then suddenly I was waking up when something was shooting out of my solar plexus or shooting, and my whole body was, you know, jumping or.
Yep, exactly.
Is that ghost or walk-ins or?
No, it's
Current
transmortals. It was up here towards the top. Mothmen is what they are. But they enjoy causing harm and chaos, pain and suffering, and they travel into the body through a wormhole. Okay, so so they're just mean. They just cause issues for people. So they're harming, causing harm, like jumping up and down. I don't care, just harm this person, blah blah blah, cause them pain, whatever.
Yeah,
and that's
so sometimes one time it was like you know, my cell phone, and you know, when the cell phone is making sound when it's getting a SMS or something.
Yeah,
I got that as well in my solar plexus. It was crazy.
You got a alert?
Yeah, in my solar plexus. It was like you know, my cell phone was in my cell phone was in my solar plexus, making you know, a message sound. I was waking up with that.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Still getting that's what it was though. Yeah.
Mothman.
Yeah, transmortal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and digestive. It says here digestive. So I mean, in this area, you know, but I also felt it more kind of here too, anxiety-ish. But yes, digestive, because I felt nauseous for a minute there, and it's like, okay, so I know I had some crackers and cheese and some nuts, but that isn't gonna do it, you know, from last night. But then I'm thinking, oh, I had a cupcake, and I usually don't eat, you know, cupcakes. I got the little grad ring that came in the cupcake. That's really all I wanted was the ring. But you know, so I'm thinking, did I eat something? I mean, this was at first because I kind of felt nauseous. And I'm like, I never feel like this. This is not right. What's okay? Now it starts coming to me, you know. So yes, that's what they do.
Yeah.
Now I'm wondering, do you want to take a lunch right now? And we still have the spirit ones. This is, you know, we still have maybe a third left of the chart here. So I think for the sake of coming back and starting it again, I think that would be a good place maybe to stop.
Yeah. I will have my dinner.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's dinner time at 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock, dinner for you. Okay.
I have one question.
Yeah, Linda.
I have a friend who has a son who has been accidentally got into drugs, and from that it led to a lot of problems, and he's been a major problem for her for years because of this. He's brought a lot of entities into the house, and we don't talk right now at all. How do I, after we go through this, how can I figure out how to help her and her son?
Yeah,
so I know there's a lot of entities, and I know she's attached, they're attached to her as well.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's individual really, because some people don't want to change their lifestyle.
Yeah.
And you can't force them to because they have free will. Yes, you can clear them, and you can have them be aware of what's going on, and your bitterness and frustration and anger is causing this stuff to keep coming back. You can let them be aware of that. But at some point they have to choose
admit
to give up that anger, or to, now, yes, you can do clearings, you can clear anger, you can clear so that it makes it easier for them. But maybe they're in a relationship, or they have a boyfriend, or they have a whoever that they keep allowing into the situation, keeps coming back. Now they're angry again, It's,
okay, you answered the question.
Is that free will when they have taken over their mind and body by aliens?
yeah, and that's why these things are totally out of line, because we have sovereignty, and they're not supposed to be in our field at all.
Yeah, but if a person has alcoholic drug problems or something like that, they probably have some aliens taking over their body or mind.
Alcohol, they don't call it spirits for nothing, right?
Yeah.
You go into bars, and I drank at one point. My husband died 30 years ago. I was married 30 years ago. And I drank, and I can't go really into a bar anymore because I just know, like, oh God, this they're hanging out in there. Yeah. Now some places are cleaner than others, but some places are not.
But is that free will when they have these problems?
Well, they can choose, right?
It's a combination, because of the drinking that attracts this stuff, because that's a low vibration thing. They're in this not a real good resonance, and so it's attracting it. So it's kind of a catch-22.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
The problem, the only problem I see, and I mean, I can't do anything about it. You answered my question, but that means that person has to come back and do it all over again.
Yeah.
Right.
It
might. And it might be that that's their path. Maybe that was their contract, because we contract to do certain things when we come in. Yeah. Now you might think abortion or miscarriage is cruel or something, or not right, but in a sense, it could be what was contracted for that individual to experience something, but to not have to actually live a lifetime.
Well, I was told that we were this friend of mine were twins twice in 2 different lifetimes.
Oh.
And the thing is that I feel like, she's separated from me, mad at me, angry, and I feel like, this has to go over. She's going to have to do it again, because I never choose anger over, in other words, letting all that go. I've been it before. There's no reason for that.
Yeah.
Maybe, like you're saying, you can't change somebody, so she has to, her energy is different than mine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And she's choosing this path because she's living in that kind of life, and we cannot be together. This is not going to happen this lifetime. It's done because she can't really be helped.
Yeah.
I would like to help her. Some people can't be helped.
Yes. Now, certainly, but you can do as much as you can, like clearing the attachments. Then you can clear blocks to body ownership. You can help there. You can clear blocks to their life ownership. You can clear blocks to poor boundaries. You can do those things and help them so that they could maybe do a shift and go, oh, I don't feel like being like that anymore. So you can help. And then you can see their cords. Maybe they're corded into an individual, maybe like their spouse or something, and they have.
Their spouse has problems too.
Yeah, so maybe their spouse, if they're corded in energetically to that spouse, now they're exchanging all that energy that's coming into them
Yeah.
from the
I
other.
understand of that. I just, you know, what you said though helps me to understand. I can try to help her, but I cannot expect that it will change. And just like we probably all have friends like that or family like that, that we can do so much, just like you're doing so much for that family member of yours.
Yeah, yeah.
about
Yep.
it.
Yeah. So, and it is, and it's just so much you can do. But yeah, you can do the blocks, anything that would be blocking them for body ownership, life ownership, boundaries. Those are the big three, I think, for attachment.
Do you have a chart on cutting cords or?
You don't want to cut the cord. So if you can just test. Is there cords? Does this individual have cords with somebody?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, how many? 1, 2, 3, whatever it happens to be. Okay, so I usually ask the individual. I include them if I can, if I on a session. Okay, if you felt a cord energetically on your body, where would you feel it? Where would you say it would be if you felt one?
Mhm.
So I'm not asking them where is the cord because I don't know, But if you felt one, where would you say it would be? Oh, okay. Well, if I did, I guess it would be solar plexus. Okay, great. Well, now take your hand and just like you're going to pull a cord out of the electrical socket of the wall, you're going to take the cord and unplug it. So you're going to unplug it from yourself and then you energetically see it happening. So you're unplugging it from the other individual, same thing. But what you're doing when you're unplugging it from yourself is that you want to extend your arm all the way past your aura before dropping it. So you don't want to drop it in your field, right? So you unplug it, extend your arm, then drop it. Unplug it from the other person, drop it. And then you can toss a couple of red magnetic roses. They purify. These are purified magnetic roses. And you drop these roses on top of the cords and then a little teeny bomb and blow it up. And you can test if you need to, put 2 more beautiful, clean magnetic roses on top of the pile, a new little bomb and blow it up. Cords, 0. Okay. Cord's gone.
Oh.
Yeah. Now there can be shared energy. Similar situation. It's not a cord, but you're sharing energy. You have somebody else's energy in your field or in your body. So if you check, is there shared energy here between these people? Yes. Okay. So let's clear their shared energy. It's it's dirty energy. You don't want. It's not you, right? It's theirs. It's their energy. Give it back, right? So what you're going to be doing is these are roses again. You're going to be standing 6 to 8 feet away from this person. You can see them. I tell them to do that. Okay, so see yourself standing 6 to 8 feet away from this person. You each have a beautiful long stem rose in your hand. These are magnetic, pure roses. And maybe you got a yellow one, maybe the other one has a pink one, right? So you're going to tell the person to send all of that other individual's energy back to them. Send all this energy you have of theirs, send it back to them, but send it into their pink rose. That's where it's going. So you can see all this energy coming out of you, of theirs. This is their energy, sending it into the pink rose. The other person, you see them sending all of the other individual's energy back to them, but into their yellow rose. So you've got energy exchanging here between the two going into their roses. Okay, so you're holding the rose, right? So after you feel that all of the energy has now been released from your body, you no longer have any of their energy. Now you go ahead and you tip the rose on top of your head, let it all drain out, coming in through the crown, just coming all back into you. And a lot of times people will be able to feel that they're getting their energy back and it feels good, so you let it all drain out, every last drop. And the other person too, you're doing that for them as well. And then when you're done, toss the roses on the ground, another little bomb, couple more beautiful red, pure magnetic roses on top of that, another little bomb. Okay, check for shared energy, 0, gone. Okay, so these are these are things that you may need to do if you're living with somebody who is continually in anger or has draws these things to them. Right? So if it is a family member and you want to do this every day, is there cords? Do they cord into each other now again? No, but goodness, they took their energy, shared energy again. Okay, so you can see this happening, and it may be just a real short process. Okay, got their energy back, boom. Go about your day. Maybe the person feels better for a while, right? And then clear their blocks. And it just depends how involved you want to get, into the story until they have a breakthrough themselves or get tired of it or something. Yeah.
Thank you.
So, yeah. Well, let's go ahead. It's the top of the hour now. Let's come back at 30 minutes after, whatever that happens to be for you, and take a break. Yeah. And we'll circle back and continue on. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Any questions that come up, just kind of hold them and write them down or whatever, and we'll take a little quick review and start back up. So I'm going to let, no, we are coming back on a different link. Okay. I've got to end this program, and then your second link, I will send it off in an email to everybody again right now. I did send it off with your stuff last night, but I'll send it off to you again. So we're all connecting on the second link, session number 2 link. Okay. All right. See you in 30.
Okay. See you.
Okay.